crazy if you think that he wasn't in
There's
town
just no
in some
doubt he
way.
was. There was no doubt then, and I think all this percolating is confirmation that he was here.
Yes.
Minimum tire kicking.
Yes.
Maximum, we shall see. I'm not as down as most. In fact, again, without trying to mislead anyone, just my sense of it, and I don't know a time frame. I don't know if it'll be next week. I think it'll be sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And if I had to place a $10 bet, I would bet on the Tigers in a different conference.
Yes.
That even could mean ACC with what they're doing today.
You're absolutely right. It could be.
I mean, the war drums are pounding.
Look, I think, we've talked about this kind of summer of realignment and everything.
Chaos is what I said. I just thought it'd be May and June.
It really seemed like everybody was just waiting for that one domino to fall. Nobody wanted to be that first domino to fall. And now that Colorado's that first domino, it's just everything is going crazy now. I mean, everybody wants to make changes.
It's dominoes everywhere.
Dominoes are everywhere. And so, I think ACC is a good point. We were talking yesterday, me and Jay Morgan, just kind of about what this means. And I personally, I feel like we've been talking about this for 2 years now, ever since the first Texas and Oklahoma and USC and UCLA. I think ultimately we're moving to 4 Power 5 conferences. I guess that'd be Power 4 conferences of about 20 teams. I think that's kind of, maybe eventually we move to 2, but I think you're eventually going to move to seeing power conferences with 20 teams in it. And if we move to that, you're at 16 starting next year, 16 with the Big Ten, 16 with the SEC. I think it would make most sense right now, if you're the Big 12, to go ahead and add 4 teams and make it 16 for 2024. So you're still not on that same level as the Big Ten and SEC, but you have the same amount of teams. I think when the ACC looks around and sees all of this happening, you've got to do something. You have not made a move. Losing, which is good, you haven't lost anybody just quite yet, but you haven't lost anybody, you haven't added anybody since the start of this. At some point, you're going to have to do something. You cannot sit still the entire time realignment's happening.
Here, I think you're right on that. And I think 80 is still the number. That was Jackie Sherrill. I don't know if it was 64 or 80. It was Jackie Sherrill's idea 25 and 30 years ago. but
well ahead of his time.
He was. Yeah. And he really was. I'm with you on either 64 or 80. I don't want to get too hung up on what the number is, but they're in the 80, no doubt.
Yes.
64 could be a different issue.
Yeah.
I'm scared that the most negative thing I can say today, and I don't mean it to be negative, and I don't mean it to stick it to anybody. I don't. I'm afraid we're ultimately going to settle out at the Power 2.
I think ultimately, absolutely.
Big Ten, SEC. And then everybody else, satellite, support staff, out there, and then here's the real rub. None of that would be that bad.
No.
If you're guaranteed that conference championship into the playoffs. I'm afraid there's going to be there's going to be no spot for conference champions after the playoff contract ends in 26. I'm not talking about the first 12 team or next year, and even after that. But when it plays out after 2026, the Big Ten and the SEC that have all those networks in their hip pocket, they're going to go and say, we want every one of those spots.
Yes.
Every one of them.
Yes, we want 6 from the Big Ten, 6 from the SEC, and
or 8 from the Big Ten, and 4.
And they can sell that to those media rights deals and those networks.
That would move Notre Dame.
Absolutely. Quickly, too. But you can definitely sell that. If you're one of these conferences, you can sell this. I don't necessarily know if I agree with it, but you can easily sell it as, these are the best teams in the country. You want the best product. You want the most eyeballs on these big-time games. It's going to come from these teams from the Big Ten and the SEC. They're the best teams in the country. Let's match them up against each other.
We're not sharing.
And networks will probably go, you know what, you're right, and we can make a lot of money off of this.
Who's to say, I don't know this, I'm just speculating, but who's to say by those contract times for 27 and beyond, remember, he just agreed to a contract through 28.
Yeah.
Who's to say the head of the network, the head of ESPN, isn't Greg Sankey?
I mean, You might not be wrong. I mean, it could
or
very
one of his
easily,
lieutenants.
very easily could happen. I mean, with what we've seen, the SEC and ESPN, that partnership, the television station, how profitable the SEC has been with not only football but basketball, even some of the other smaller sports that you see both on SEC Network and some of the other ESPN channels. I know baseball, SEC baseball. Anytime in the spring, you can usually find an SEC baseball game on ESPNU most Saturdays or Sundays. So I would not be surprised at all if somebody from one of the top dogs in the SEC is eventually the top dog at ESPN.
And if it's not Sankey or a lieutenant, it's somebody that's very cozy with all of them, that is tantamount to a puppet government leader.
Absolutely.
For the world sports leader. You know what I mean by it. And I think that's coming. But to draw it back to local, I am not as down as a lot are. It is seemingly most of both text feedback, listener feedback, around town. I'm not, because I know this moves fast. And sometimes it can take a turn. Boy, I really didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
I still think we've got a lot of that in us. In the next few weekends, now the date to really watch is August 15th for Florida State.
Yep.
FSU to the Big Ten. If it's going to happen in this round of realignment, it's going to happen by August 15th.
Yeah.
They've got to let ACC, grant of rights, all that, they've got to let them know. A lot of people are having to let people know. And we know with that the Pac-9 now, they have teams that could have been gone a long time before now.
Yes.
If they haven't left before now, why now? Now they've got to come up with their TV deal. They've got to show it. For Memphis Tiger partisans, you want the Pac somehow to stay in business.
100%.
And you want it to stay in business with Oregon and Washington as cornerstones.
Yes.
And Arizona State in there as well, Utah, they all stay. No more poaching from Big 12. Then that leaves Big 12 spots open. And if Pac-12, Pac-9 wants to get to 16, the math gets difficult, doesn't it? If they want to get to 16, then I think SMU's kind of sitting pretty good.
Yeah, I think you're right. And really, when you look at the Pac-12, I mean, the only people they have to blame is themselves. I mean, it's been an awful job from the leadership down, from what has happened with their creation, trying to be like the SEC and make their own television network, but it's so only like 20% of the country can even watch it. And then you have this, you're in a position where you need a new media rights deal, and your commissioner sounds so confident and it's going to happen, but there's nothing to show for it. I know Arizona, their president came out and said that they're waiting to see what the Pac-12 is going to offer for a media rights deal. It seems like Colorado, with kind of all of the hype and energy they have around both programs right now, football and basketball, they kind of struck while the iron was hot and said, let's go ahead and move to the Big 12. But I think
just hadn't scratched in the Pac.
No, just haven't, and I don't think, when you look at it, obviously right now the Pac-12, when it comes to media rights deal, the money that Colorado is going to be able to make because of this media rights deal, because they'll be full shareholders when it comes to 2024 when they're a member. So it's a much better deal in the Big 12 when Pac-12 has absolutely nothing right now. So I think Pac-12 really, they need to get in their offices today if they haven't already, and say, we've got to get a media rights deal tomorrow, and we need to have something that we can show our members right now to say, hey, look, stay with us, we're going to be fine.
I'm going to be very graphic in how I'm getting ready to describe something. When Rick George, with a straight face, said it wasn't about the money, I wanted to projectile vomit.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not about the money, what's it about? Everything's about the money when it comes to these.
Why did he feel the need to even say that?
I don't know.
When you know better on the face of it. I mean, somebody that doesn't know anything about contracts or running an athletics department or balancing a checkbook.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's about the money, why run from it? I think he would have been so much better served of, this was a financial opportunity we just couldn't turn down.
Yes.
This was too good for our board of regents and those board of regents out there. The board, those boards of trustees out there. And that goofball California State Higher Education Board, whatever it was, that thought last fall they could still block USC and UCLA. No, you couldn't.
How crazy was that?
Waste of breath, waste of time, waste of the schedule they sent out to those people. This is what we'll go over today at the August California State whatever. It was ridiculous. And then, like we said on Wednesday, and y'all, I know y'all nailed it yesterday. When they start calling together and announcing those boards are getting together, those votes are there, and they're unanimous. And it was with the Colorado board, and that's a whole bunch of people. And those types, those academics, and then those people that aren't academics but serve on those boards of trustees, that had a whole bunch. The highbrowedness that they have on so many other topics. It is the ultimate ivory tower.
Yes, absolutely.
And nauseating.
Very. But when you look at, $32 million per year is what Colorado will get after joining the Big 12. You're going to sit there and tell me that $32 million didn't even come into the equation when talking about moving to a different conference? That's crazy.
Just on the face of it, you knew better. And today the ACC just let it know far and wide. Yeah. They're ready to deal. Now, the SEC felt real settled last week.
Yeah.
Lots happened in a week.
A lot has happened in a week.
Think about it. A week ago today was Kliavkoff. Am I pronouncing it correct?
Kliavkoff. Yeah, I one or the other. I always just say Kliavkoff, whatever.
He's sitting there in the one-day Pac-12, nothing to fear but fear itself.
And we're going to get we're not ready to announce a media rights deal right now, but I can assure you that the media rights deal we have,
like it.
No school will want to leave this conference.
But it is happening. It took a while, and now I missed. Because I really thought this was going to be May 15th conversation, not July 28th.
Yeah.
I thought raging inferno by May 28th into June. It was nothing. I missed badly on it. Now, and I'm not making excuses. I missed. I can't be clear that I missed. But now looking back, I can see why. Let the story for Big 12 perspective. Let the story of the newbies. Let them come on in. First of all, for legality, let's get to July 1.
Yes.
Don't say a word that gets us in trouble with anybody out there and cause legal bills to go even higher. And let them have their day in the sunshine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let's get through, and I'm talking about through the perspective of administrators and maybe even TV people. Let's get through the rabble of media days.
Yes.
We don't want to be battered with that. We don't want the little guy from Memphis worrying the stew out of us about that. Get through all that. We spring it on them as soon as it's over.
Yeah.
Almost the second they ended, here come the news.
Oh, yeah. When you look at it, obviously, like you said, Big 12 wants to get through theirs. Theirs was 2 weeks ago. They want to get through theirs, let all those new members have it. But let's not forget, Pac-12 was just last Friday. And so
last Friday.
Do you really want to have, Colorado as a school, do you want to have to sit there and every single question that is asked to you is not about this year's team, Deion Sanders in there, new coach, new team. It's about, all right, you're moving to the Big 12.
8 days ago, I'm talking to Greg Sankey about his grandchildren.
Yes.
And he didn't want conference realignment questions.
Right.
I don't remember maybe one conference realignment question at SEC. Maybe one.
Maybe.
They backburnered it good.
They did.
Very well, and they handled it very well.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I think you're right when you kind of say this is just the start of what's going to come with conference realignment this year. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. At 3:30, Alan Bell from CBS Sports and CBS Sportstime will join us. We'll talk some wagering with him. We'll also have to get to some NFL with him as training camps are rolling right along. 3:45, we're going to get to our Big Four current and all-time. We're going to hit up the city of Chicago, the Northsiders and the Southsiders. We'll do our top 4 current and all-time for those two teams. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports. He'll join us. We'll talk some more wagering with him, but we'll also talk a lot about realignment and what this move for Colorado means for the state of college football. 4:30, we'll get back into this conference realignment discussion, talk about what this means for college football, football, where the Tigers stand in all of this.
A lot more questions than answers.
A lot more questions. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bill Bender. Couldn't pick a better time to get Bill Bender back on than right now. We'll talk college football with him. He's from the Sporting News. A lot to get to with Bill Bender. Then at 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending. Probably get to a lot of baseball talk during what's trending with the trade deadline right around the corner. A lot of big-time trades already in the works. And then at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer clearance sale going on right now at Family Leisure, and they need your help to clear out inventory. All DIY pools, $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pool, less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Patio furniture up to 30% off. Spas, they're in stock and up to $1,200 off. And don't forget about the 24-month same as cash financing, now available only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
I'm Brett Norsworthy and glad to be back alongside Bryant Dacus and our producer, Jay Morgan Harder. We're Sportstime, and we want you to text or call us at 901-360-8255. We're here until 6 o'clock, and then the weekend will start. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2023 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2023 LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it seems like a lot of Tiger news, both football and basketball this week with American Athletic Conference Media Days, the subtractions and additions to the basketball roster.
Slow summer.
I mean, good Lord, now realignment talk. But the big breaking news today is that it's being reported that Memphis will open up the battle for Atlantis with a game against Michigan. Juwan Howard versus Penny Hardaway. I feel like we've been waiting for years for this matchup. Two former NBA players.
Is that Thanksgiving Day?
I think it's if it's not Thanksgiving Day, it's the day before Thanksgiving. One of those 2 days. They'll kick off the battle for Atlantis. They'll play Michigan. And what does this Michigan team look like? It's been a wild offseason for Memphis, but it's also been a wild offseason for Michigan. If you remember, they lose Hunter Dickinson, who was a staple for their roster. I think 2 or 3 guys committed to their team that couldn't get in because of academic eligibility, NIL situations, different things that have happened at Michigan this offseason. So it's been a weird offseason for Michigan. It's also been a wild offseason for the Tigers, but I just feel like ever since Juwan Howard and Penny Hardaway were hired at these two schools, it's just been that thought, that dream of these two schools playing against each other, and we'll get it around Thanksgiving for the battle for Atlantis.
I'm trying to find those exact dates. That's going to be fun. 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Okay, so a couple days before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Thanksgiving this year on the 24th, right?
Yes.
No, on the 23rd. So
23rd,
it
so
is
it'll be the day before. Yeah, so
you're right.
that Wednesday, then Thursday will be Thanksgiving.
What a primer.
They'll play the second round game on Thanksgiving.
You know what that week is for me?
What's that
One
week?
of my favorites of the year.
Egg Bowl week.
Well, and Feast week.
Oh, that's right.
Almost every waking moment from that Monday with games in Maui all the way through the last Sunday night football game, there's live sports on TV that
at
week.
All times.
It's one of the great weeks of the year.
You're absolutely right.
And you get it all. You get NBA, you get college basketball, NFL, college football. You get it all at that time. My top story, rumors abound, speculation increases, and we'll only add to the speculation, I can assure you. It's almost daily about conference realignment, almost hourly. Anybody doubt now that the commish of the Big 12, Brett Yormark, was in town? I don't know how you can doubt it now. I think it's all but confirmed. No, I don't have pictures, but he was here. Some report Memphis could be really close. Some say not. I think the Big 12 will add in the next few weeks, not even the next month, in the next few weeks. FSU to the Big 10 now being widely speculated, and August 15th, the big date for that. ACC now openly suggesting adding teams. It's on. I missed by 2 months, but it's here.
It's here.
Not top story of the day.
Well, that's my not top story of the day because for some reason, even though all the realignment news we're getting today, it seems a little less big than yesterday, a little smaller than yesterday when we got the actual announcement. Hey, Colorado, they're on the move back to the Big 12, but it's still wild to think we're here again. I mean, I think we all assumed it would get here. I think both me and you assumed it would be here before the end of July, before we got into August, but it's here. It's going to happen. What happens with the Pac-12? Do they get a media rights deal in the next couple of days to try to keep those big-time schools? You know, Washington and Oregon are already talking about leaving. Arizona has it's been well reported that they are one leg in, one leg out right now. Arizona State right there. Utah, the exact same thing. So what does the Pac-12 look like in a week? Is it the same as what it looks like right now? Or is one or two teams going to another conference? You talked about the ACC. What happens with them? And where did the Tigers land in all this? I think a lot of questions. It's going to be a while before we get some answers. I think quicker than maybe we think. But it's going to be a lot of questions over the next week.
Here's another reason. I don't know if they did it intentionally, but if they did, very smart on them. I missed on the timing, but very smart on them. Now, with Monday, with about every camp opening, you ask any of these coaches about it, they're going to indignantly respond, I'm coaching a football team.
That's right.
I can't worry about conference.
We're getting ready for week one.
I know the league I play in now, and I got to worry about it. I mean, they get to swat that away instead of being badgered by it from May on like they would have been. So smart on them. My not top story, these pinhead administrators and board of trustees at a lot of these places, and most of them state schools. You want to tell me they do all this behind closed doors with nobody knowing about it? They do it for a reason. They do it to avoid Freedom of Information Act laws and statutes and public record access stuff. It's intentional, and it's the sneakiest bunch ever with the public's money. The University of Memphis, the University of Tennessee, people, y'all know, I don't need to go through them all. You own them. Good taxpayer. Yeah. You own them. Your tax money goes to that. You own that, and we should get a lot more answers and have a lot more clarity from these people. And I think some of these big time college administrators and what they're also doing with the tuition on the tuition side and the increases, I think they're as crooked as the mob.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that, but that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk some wagering with Alan Bell.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Hi, folks. Remember when you had a picture of a car in your bedroom and you dream of owning it someday? Now you've got something that looks like a box. Come on, man. What happened to the dream? At Sunrise, no matter what your fast credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, we make dreams come true every day. Hundreds of new cars and trucks to choose from, and a $5 million used car inventory with cars and trucks low as $99.95. Low monthly payments, and if you don't have a big down payment, don't worry about it. At Sunrise, don't be that guy driving an ugly car. Get into Sunrise Buick GMC, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, Bartlett, and Collierville. Live the dream. Life is good.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on eating out, fuel costs, and replacing expensive grills that cannot stand up to the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
The FedEx St. Jude Championship returns to TPC Southwind, August 9th through the 13th. Don't miss your chance to witness the top 70 players from the PGA Tour season battle it out in the first event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Only 50 players will make it through Memphis. Don't miss your chance to watch the drama unfold. Daily grounds and upgraded ticket options are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
At Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat, it's time to make this the summer sales event you've been hoping for. Take a power trip in 2023 Fiat 500X Pop 4-door all-wheel drive, $27,990 or $408 a month. Dominate in the beast. 2023 Dodge Charger XST 4-door, we Gossett at $30,990 or $458 a month. And rule the road in dependable power 2023 Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab 4x2, $32,990 or $474 a month. And if we don't have it, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
75 months at 6.10 APR, 3,500 down, pop, BP 990492, MSRP 31,355, Charger PH 504,815, MSRP 35,630, Ram PS 55,4620, MSRP 40,460, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Dacus, Brett Norsworthy, Jay Morgan Harder with you, and joining us now from CBS Sports and CBS Sportsline, Alan Bell, talking some wagering with us. Alan, thanks for joining us, and believe it or not, next time we talk to you, we will have all watched the Hall of Fame game the night before.
The day after we've won on the under, Alan Bell.
That's right.
Man, good to see you guys. Second, yeah. Under, dude. Bet them.
No doubt.
Yeah, there's not going to be any scoring at all. But, man, it's just exciting that football's going to be here. I mean, that's the best part about it.
This is the last Friday. Next Friday, I'm kind of threading the needle a bit. It'll be the day after. But then starting the next Friday, it'll be games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Last time, no football until on a Friday that we won't be talking about until February 16th.
That's a good stat to have. That might be the best stat all year.
It sure is. Alan, who's that good-looking guy in your Twitter profile now?
I don't know, man. You know, it's just found him on the internet. I was like, this is going to be a good avatar to use. You know what I mean?
Nice work.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So Alan, you see, obviously, all the training camps have started. Veterans have been reporting, but we've seen some injuries. Every year you see these early injuries, and I think everyone freaks out a lot more. Joe Burrow, yesterday, a non-contact injury, but it sounds like he should be back by the first week of the season. How worried are you about that injury maybe lingering into the regular season?
Well, I mean, you know, we had to find out more, right?
Yeah.
Like, calf strain, we just don't know. But, I mean, the Bengals don't seem to be concerned too terribly much about it. So I'll kind of roll with how head coach Zach Taylor feels, right?
I will for now, but we also know around sports how they fib.
Yeah. I mean, it's brutal because especially if a guy like him goes down. I mean, that's your whole season. Done. Over with. Gone. Right? So, yeah, I mean, Jalen Ramsey in Miami, him already having meniscus surgery, which by his tweet when he said, he'll be ready to go for that home stretch. Look, their bye week is week 10. So that tells me he's going to be gone for a while.
It is a while.
Right?
Yeah, that's December.
It's brutal. Yeah. It's brutal, man, because, we see these injuries happen in training camp, but you kind of have to have training camp. Like, you can't just roll out there into the season. So there's really no answer, man. I don't know what to do, there's just nothing that you can do.
Do you think there's any correlation to lack of team stuff in the offseason? I know OTAs and I know the mandatory minicamp, but do you think now through collective bargaining we've bargained out of practice and maybe even the teams watching over training regimen?
It could be. I mean, there are people smarter than me in the NFL and the PA and the team, all that, making those decisions. But it could be because we see injuries at a really high rate now, and especially at big time positions too. I mean,
non-contact.
I don't want to get definitive. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big thing as well. It's difficult. Like you look back at Major League Baseball starting pitchers back 60s, 70s, 80s, right? I mean, these guys would go 3 days rest, and complete games and do it 24 times in a year, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, there's probably a lot of factors that go into it, and I'm not smart enough to know them, but I think non-contact, right? Like, I think that has a big part to do with it.
Alan, you want to see something that really make you just respect him even more. Never mind off the court for the respect there, but on the court of play, go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's page at Basketball Ref and look at the games played number. I mean, it's 79, 80, 78, 81, 82, 77. And one year he broke his wrist. Well, Kent Benson's jaw got in the way of his wrist from a right hook, and he broke his wrist, and he missed some games. But the rest of his career, I mean, marathon man. Wasn't he health maintenance for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. Is these guys, they were just ready to go all season long, right? And I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? Like every player. Let me also say this: there's never been a time, and this is going to be the answer. Like this is going to be true for every single year that we go forward. Like, look at the size of these players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I know
it's
that
simple inertia.
Something
that big, moving that fast.
Yeah, like the example you just gave is not right because he was so tall, but like he's also pretty thin, right? Like I mean, you've got quarterbacks now that are 250, 260, right? 6'5", 6'6". You've got guys like Jalen Ramsey, a cornerback who's huge. He's 6'4", 235 of all muscle, right? Like you look at guys like LeBron James in the NBA. Like it is a miracle that this man has been as healthy as he has, being 6'8", 275. And the amount of miles that he logged, right? Like, I think that has something to do with it as well, is that, human bodies, man. Like, I don't know what the peak, the ceiling is, but I think that we're getting pretty close to it.
Well, we have to be. And all the games that we're playing now, I know NBA and Major League Baseball is still around the same number, but the NFL just adding that one more, that's a lot more opportunity. Alan, also this around these guys, it also shows the fragility, and it's why I'm always an advocate of they need to get all the money they can get. Because it can end in a blink of an eye. Because that Burrow injury yesterday, at first we thought maybe Achilles, we thought maybe that gimpy knee, and if it had been either one of those, the potential of it being over existed.
Yeah, 100%. Like I completely agree with you, and that I look, I know it's different, like, but I feel the same way college-wise as well.
Me too.
Like, If you could go get money, go get it.
Get all you can get.
Go get it, man.
And
all you can get.
And I don't need to hear Tommy Tuberville and Joe Manchin talking about 3 years. Tommy Tuberville left Texas Tech one time in a recruiting dinner. He wasn't giving them 3 more minutes. Look, I know he can enact law now, and boy, that makes us all sleep better, doesn't it? Tommy Tuberville can enact and make laws we have to follow. But I want these college players. I want the liberation and freedom for them.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, just go get every penny that you can, and hopefully you don't need it. Like, hopefully you have a long career, you make all the money in the world, but more times than not, you don't. And those injuries happen. And trust me, not that we have to say anything, but that talk of La Familia, we're all together. NFL team will cut you the second that you aren't of value to them.
The second.
The family part ends right there. It's over. You know what I mean? So go get as much money as possible.
When you can't help, you're gone. You're an expendable commodity.
Yep.
Yeah, and let me say this. And fans won't care either. Like, they'll tell you this is, we're a family, part of the team, wars, whatever you. They won't care either.
Nope.
They'll want you gone.
They'll buy the next guy's jersey.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, 100%. So don't let them play you on Twitter either. Like, they'll want you gone. So go get your money, kid. Go get it.
Talking to Alan Bell from CBS Sports and CBS Sportsline. I've been seeing clips of Calvin Ridley at practice with the Jaguars. He looks really fast. It doesn't look like he lost anything in a year sitting out for the gambling situation. And he sounds very excited about this offense, being a part of this offense with Trevor Lawrence. How good can the Jaguars offense be this year?
Dude, the Jaguars' offense can be good. The Jaguars can be good.
Yeah, bigger step up this year than last year for Lawrence.
Yeah. Like, look, I believe big. If they're healthy, like, they've got the perfect quarterback and the perfect head coach right there, good to go. Number 2, like you just said with Ridley, I mean, this guy can play. Now, he hasn't played in 2 years, right? So when we just spoke about, in regards to, when you haven't been hit, that could take some time to adjust, but still, I mean, he's a good player.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the guy's a good football player, you know what I mean? So I think that, couple that with, lastly, that the Jaguars are in a division, the AFC South, where they can rack up wins against, quite frankly, the Texans, Colts, and Titans. You know what I mean? Like, if they're on their game, I believe in the Jaguars. They're over win total set at 10 this year. Not even a hook. You get it right at 10, so you can get push insurance. And obviously, they've got 2 games in London as well that works in their favor. I'm big on the Jaguars.
What's the next big move in conference realignment? And didn't Deion Sanders pay for himself yesterday?
Yeah, he definitely did, man. He definitely did. In fact, I think the next big move is, does the ACC stay the ACC? And what in the world happens with the Pac-12, right? Like, what does that become? And I think that there's value in going to get teams that are in quote-unquote lower-tiered conferences and building up. Like, I think that you can do that successfully.
Yeah.
Or it could all fold, right? Like, I do not know what's going to happen, with the Pac-12. But, I think that's the next big, kind of eye. Because you look at, the SEC, Big 12, or even the Big 10, that, I mean, how much more expansion you can have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're kind of at, once you get to the 16 teams, right, that you haven't even added yet, like, that's just a lot of teaching.
I know if
it's a lot.
The Pac, whatever the number is after Pac, if it's 12, 14, 16, if it keeps that tie with the Rose Bowl, when the Rose Bowl is not a playoff game, that increases its gravitas. You could have a some type of confluence of Mountain West meets whatever, AAC.
Yeah.
But if they keep that Rose Bowl bid, they matter.
Oh, absolutely. You're 100% right. And trust me, like you just said, ain't giving that thing up either, right? Like, I mean, there's ways to go about it, and it might take some time for, fan bases to adjust. But you know what? I mean, get creative, get smart with it. You can do something good.
Here's what I think. People that want the pack to stay together and keep that alignment with the Rose Bowl, here's what I'm scared of. I'm afraid the Big Ten will go, hey, how about a Rose Bowl of just 2 Big Ten teams?
Yep.
Conference game.
You know, and especially with, you know, USC.
Especially with the West Coast influence.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the danger part for them. Because I think you nailed it right there. I think that honestly really is the answer is the Rose Bowl aspect. Like, I think that's the big answer. You lose that, you're done.
Yeah. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a wild next couple months as this expansion talk continues to heat up. But Alan, thanks so much for joining.
Who do you like in the Hall of Fame game?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, who we got? The Browns and the
Jets.
The Jets, right?
JETS.
Yep. I'll go with Browns here for sure. I mean,
Pick
you know,
them.
the Jets they're not playing anybody in that game. No. And quite frankly, like, not that the Browns will, but I think that the Browns, like, I think that with all the craziness that's gone on, like, even just simulating taking something seriously could be of value to them. You know what I mean? Like, I think that, like, this could be a nice, like an important walkthrough, so to say. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Browns.
Aaron Rodgers.
The Jets care at all.
Aaron Rodgers stands a better chance of getting hit in this studio than he does in Canton next Thursday night.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Alan, thanks for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
Hey, look forward to it, boys. Y'all be good.
You got it. Thank you, Alan Bell with CBS Sports. And we will get into a lot of handicapping in the weeks ahead on a Friday afternoon with him. The first name in Memphis Italian food is Ronnie Grizzani's in Regalia. And you go there for lunch, and you'll just love it. And dinner time and the bar area. The Italian favorites with crisp, cold Miss Mary salad, the lobster tower, fried green tomatoes, the crab stack. Monday through Saturday for lunch, Ronnie Grizzani's. They have the catering. Check out the lunch catering guide at RonnieGrizzani's.com. The Elfo special, salads, Italian bread, $14 per person. Ronnie Grizzani's, they'll bring it to you, 901-850-0191. Pick up a pan of lasagna at Ronnie Grizzani's at Regalia, or check out the bulk menu at RonnieGrizzani.com. Get your favorites at home, like the ravioli, Italian spinach, chicken Alfredo, curbside pickup, delivery to your door, free within 4 miles of Regalia. The bar, stay cool with a cocktail list that's perfect for this hot summer heat. Steaks, the 8-ounce Gorgonzola and bacon wrap filet. Try it, think us later in High Point Grocery, Super Low on Spotswood, and Goodman Road in Buster's Liquor. Make lunch or dinner easy at Ronnie Grizzani's, a Memphis tradition since 1909. And, you know, when you go back that far, can't you say 1909?
Honestly, yeah.
You really can. My grandmother was born in 1909, and she would always say 1909.
That's great. That is amazing. Long time, 1909. That is a really long time. Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll get to our top 4 current and all-time for the Cubs and the White Sox.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM. And 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
My friends at Miramichi are always innovative. They've got a new thing going I think you're going to like. They have a staggered rate pertaining to what time of day it is. You can get a better price if you go in the later afternoon than you will in the morning or in the afternoon. From noon to 3, there is a $10 savings. There's about a $13 savings from 3 until close. You can't beat all of the innovations or the beauty at Miramichi. And folks are flocking. No longer can you get a membership. There's a waiting list, but that's how popular Miramichi has become. And why wouldn't it? You've got different levels of competition. You have 5 different tee boxes you can choose from ultra hard to ultra fun. The thing that's a constant is the beauty. The back 9 is like taking a walk through the woods with a meandering stream, and there's a waterfall you'll love. Everything about Miramichi is cool. Go check it out in Woodstock, 12 minutes north of downtown. It's Miramichi.
For a championship team, every player needs to be a perfect fit. Just like your vehicle, every part needs to fit just right. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time. Just look for the green check. With over 122 million parts, you'll be back in the game in no time. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey Mid-South, the Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event has never been hotter than right now at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. How about 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander? 7 seats, 27 mpg combined. We Gossett at $449 a month. Or get ready to take your pick from 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander or 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range, 64 combined MPGe. Get ready to ride for just $499 a month at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
20 cents excess mileage. Outlander PZ012158, MSRP 34555. Outlander SE PZ041164, MSRP 35585. PHEV PZ040302, 24 months, 12,000 miles per year. MSRP 48230. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax filing license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Your next success begins with University of Maryland Global Campus, an accredited state university for more than 75 years. UMGC has been giving working adults the affordable, online education you need to reach the future you want. Because the path to success is different for everyone, we offer more than 125 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, along with success coaches and lifetime career services. Our online and hybrid courses let you learn on your schedule. No-cost digital materials in place of most textbooks, affordable tuition, and financial resources make UMGC accessible. You know what it feels like to succeed. We'll help you succeed again. Too late isn't in your vocabulary. Reach your next goal at University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply now and save with no application fee. Undergraduate and most graduate courses start August 16th. Learn more at umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
So we've almost made it through the entire Major League Baseball for teams and picking their top 4, both current and all time. I thought this is a fun one. We're going to do the city of Chicago.
North and South.
In the same week, the North Siders and the South Siders. I will warn both of y'all, very, very risky to do your top 4 current White Sox because in a matter of minutes, they might not be a White Sox anymore.
Do y'all realize in the all-important loss column, the Cubs are only 4 back of the last wild card?
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, about how the Cubs started. You miss a day and you miss a lot. I think Matt Pauley was the one that pointed out, was like, the Cubs could,
He's really good,
they could go on a run.
Ooh, I was listening to his show driving home last night from AutoZone Park.
All right,
Jay Morgan, you go first, buddy.
All right, I'll start. Well, am I on?
You're
Can you
good.
hear me?
You're
Okay,
good. I hear
good.
you.
Okay, you can hear me.
Loud
Excellent.
and clear.
I'll start with the Cubs here. I'll do all-time first. Ernie Banks is 1, Ryan Sandberg 2, Billy Williams, and Anthony Rizzo, World Series winner 4. For current,
Rizzo, I like that. Riz.
For current, I'll do Dansby 1. Give me Steele over Stroman at 3, and Nico Horner I'll do 4.
Ooh, Horner, I like that.
All right, Brian.
Let's see. My top 4 all-time: number 1, Ernie Banks; 2, Sammy Sosa; 3, Ryan Sandberg; and 4, Rizzo. My 4 current: Cody Bellinger, number 1; 2, Dansby Swanson; 3, Justin Steele; and then number 4, the Stroh Show, Marcus Stroman.
I was wondering if anybody would be nervy enough to go Sammy Sosa. You were. Jay Morgan wasn't, nor am I. Number 1, Ernie Banks. You say the Chicago Cubs. It's just evocative. I mean, almost word association. It comes out Ernie Banks. 2 for me, Sweet Swing and Billy Williams. 3, Ferguson Jenkins. And I fibbed last Friday. I said I knew my 4. I said Andre Dawson then, and upon further review, no way, Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah.
Current, Nico Horner 1, Marcus Stroman 2. Ian Happ in the middle of everything last night. And number 4, Cody Bellinger.
I like it. Jay Morgan, go ahead with
Southside.
your White Sox.
My White Sox all time, I have Frank Thomas as 1, and Shoeless Joe Jackson. Paul Konerko 3, and Mark Burley is number 4 for me. My current White Sox are Eloy Jimenez 1, Andrew Benintendi 2, Luis Robert is 3, and how about Kendall Graveman, the guy that stepped in to close for me at 4.
I like that.
I'm right there. I love that. And also, I like that you got in Shoeless Joe. He hit 375 in the series
did.
he threw.
Sure did.
In a rare 9-game series, too.
That is the truth. It's hard to.
He needed
hard to
extra
do.
cash for all those games.
I guess so. Surprising enough, my 4 all-time exact same as Jay Morgan Harder. How about that? I thought I was gonna be the only one with Shoeless Joe on my list, so I'm glad.
I like
exact same. How about that?
Say it ain't so, Joe. Go ahead for now.
My 4 current, a little different than his. I'll start at the top. Luis Robert, number 1. Eloy Jimenez, number 2. Tim Anderson, number 3, except, who knows by the end of the weekend if he's still a White Sox. And then Dylan Cease, number 4 for me.
All time for the Southsiders, and it pained me not to have Louis Aparicio on here, one of the great Memphis Chicks of all time. But I had Nellie Fox 1, Paul Konerko 2, Big Hurt Frank Thomas 3, and Luke Appling 4. And I think I'm right on this. Appling Road here in Memphis is named after him from his managerial stint as manager of the Chicks.
You're kidding.
When they were the affiliate of the White Sox. I've been told definitively it was, and I've also been told no, it was an old guard family here, and it just happened to be the same name.
Interesting.
But I was told by a true baseball historian that it is. For lunch, anywhere y'all want to go, and I'm talking one of the 3-hour lunches where we have several courses, and if you're of the alcohol persuasion, a whiskey lunch.
Oh, wow.
I'm not, but if y'all are, we will. Luke Appling's nickname.
App.
No, that's a good guess. No.
Dang. Jay Morgan?
I don't even venture. I can't even venture a guess.
Old aches and pains.
Old aches and pains. I would have never in a million years guessed
That's beautiful, isn't it?
That's beautiful.
Right now for the White Sox, Luis Robert, Lucas Giolito, Dylan Cease, and Andrew Vaughn.
Wow, Giolito, now an Angel. So
He is?
He is.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Gio was traded late last night, so a rare current that's not current anymore. That's what happens when you get to the trade deadline, I guess.
Was Slidey and Anderson for me.
I got you. Let's go ahead and wrap up this hour. When we come back, we'll talk to Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports.
The first name in Memphis Italian food, it's Ronnie Grizzani's in Regalia. Lunch, the Italian favorites with crisp cold Miss Mary salad, lobster tower, fried green tomatoes, the crab stack, Monday through Saturday for lunch. Ronnie Grizzani's Catering, check out the lunch catering guide at ronniegrizzani.com. The Elfo special, salad, Italian bread for $14 per person. Ronnie Grizzani's, they'll bring it to you. 901-850-0191. Pick up a pan of lasagna at Ronnie Grizzani's at Regalia or check out the bulk menu at ronniegrizzani.com. Get your favorites at home. Chicken Alfredo, ravioli, Italian spinach, curbside pickup, delivery to your door. Free within 4 miles of Regalia. The bar, stay cool with the cocktail list. Steaks, the 8-ounce Gorgonzola and bacon wrap filet. Try it, thank me later. In High Point Grocery, Super Low in Spotswood and Goodman Road, and Buster's Liquors. Make lunch or dinner easy at Ronnie Grizzani's, a Memphis tradition since 1909.
Great news from Memphis. Now we don't have to travel to Nashville or New York to get a quality diamond, engagement ring, or designer jewelry. Tennessee's best jeweler is now here. Open in Poplar Commons. It's Genesis Diamonds. Genesis Diamonds is a game changer. Owned by former diamond wholesalers. They take buying jewelry to a whole new level with direct importer prices, a selection that's up to 30 times ordinary stores, no commission salespeople, and the best warranties and guarantees in the industry. And at Genesis, they'll teach you the inside secrets of the diamond industry, things other stores don't want you to know. Genesis Diamonds has been serving Tennessee shoppers for nearly 2 decades, and now they're here with a stunning showroom in Poplar Commons. Genesis has all the big name designers like Tucori and Viraggio. They have a vault full of precious GIA certified diamonds, plus case after case of exquisite earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and an amazing selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes. We've needed a jeweler like this for years. Now they're here. Genesis Diamonds, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans, now open in Poplar Commons.
Summer's here, and Gossett Kia on the Pike has the hottest deals you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Hit the highway with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $259 a month, $27.99 due at signing. 2023 Sportage LX 308 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 2023 World Performance Car 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. EPA estimated range 310 miles, $499 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 641,916, MSRP 21,910. Sportage P718 2870, MSRP 28,185. EV6 P510 5073, MSRP 49,965. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties. A limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at MetroBuildersMemphis.com. That's MetroBuildersMemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Barden Stone has been serving the Mid-South area for over 3 generations. What sets them apart and makes them unique? Landscape Stone Center? They have one of the largest selections with a wide variety of colors and sizes, all the way from cobblestones to garden rock and pebbles from ground cover. Plus fieldstone and flagstone, stepping stones and stacking stones, even landscape boulders. In addition to a wide variety of stones and rocks, Barden Stone staff is very knowledgeable. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or design professional, Barden Stone can answer any question pertaining to the use of stones from A to Z. Barden Stone, they know stone inside and out. Barden Stone, 1 mile south of Park at 1557 Cherry Road. Barden Stone, open for you Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Call 901-683-8264 and visit Barden Stone.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Dacus, Brett Norsworthy, Jay Morgan Harder with you.
You were right about Lucas Giolito.
I told you he's starting tonight for the Angels. A lot of moves. I mean, you gotta keep up with it. But
I worked in old aches and pains though, didn't I?
You sure did. That was impressive. But joining us now from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports, Bruce Marshall joins us now. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. And a lot has happened over the last 48 hours. Now Colorado heading back to the Big 12.
Here we go.
Here we go. Back to the Eddie Crowder days, and before that, Sonny Grandelius and the whole thing, and that's Bobby Anderson and Bill Mallory. I mean, there's some great
and Bobby's brother Dick,
and Dick too. Sure. I mean, there's some great football, and we remember
Boyd Dowler.
Yeah, Boyd Dowler in the late 50s. Brett remembers 1971. 1, 2, 3 in the Big 8 in the final poll, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Colorado. So, I mean, there is some history there, but I think the bigger thing right now is, well, there's two parallel storylines here revolving these two conferences, the Big 12 and the Pac-12, or now 9, it looks like, and the Big 12 slowly growing beyond 12. What it does next. But I think the overarching question here is the Pac-12 going to survive? Who's going to leave next? Is somebody going to leave next? I think they can probably hang in there with Colorado leaving, because a lot of people out on the coast thought that was the one most wobbly member of the alliance. But they've been slow on the draw on everything. Especially compared to the Big 12. And they're in a very crucial period here because there's only 1 year to go on this media deal they've got, and these schools are basically free agents after this coming season to leave without penalty, and that's why USC and UCLA waited until after this coming year. So they better get something done quick, but you don't get the idea the Pac-12 is moving that quick on this stuff, and I think they're in serious trouble.
Do they keep the Rose Bowl connection, and who decides they keep it? The Rose Bowl Festival Association?
That's a very good question, Brett, and I was thinking about that last night. I mean, the Rose Bowl has seeded a lot of this to the playoff. I mean, this year it's a playoff game.
It is. When I win, it was a playoff game, OU and Georgia.
Yes, that's right. Oklahoma and Georgia was a playoff game. So I think that would be in jeopardy, and it should be because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, that was for a full-strength pack. And, the whole alliance there, it's just not the same without USC and UCLA there. The mortal blow was delivered by the Big Ten last year. And I look at the Arizona schools, which are pondering apparently, making the same jump that Colorado did. And, I mean, certainly in Colorado's case, the Pac-12 they joined had USC and UCLA in it, and certainly with the Arizona schools back in the 70s. And those Arizona schools have played almost every year at least one game in L.A. every year for the past 40-plus years in football, and that's big for them because they recruited pretty heavily out of California and Southern California. They always have. But they don't. That's gone away, and I am wondering, as much as these are academic institutions that we're talking about here, the athletic departments are very much commercial entities there, and they're in business. And these athletic directors, well, certainly the athletic directors, I think they realize it. I'm not sure the school presidents do, but they would be derelict in duty if not exploring getting out of this sinking ship of the Pac-12 ASAP. And I think whatever happens could happen by the time this point, August 28th, a month from today, we may see some more movement.
Wow. Well, when you kind of look at the Pac-12 right now, everyone, Colorado's talking about it, Arizona's talking about it. It seems like all the teams are talking about this lack of a media rights deal. I mean, do we see Pac-12 come out Monday or next week and say, we've got something? I mean, you got to think they've got to get some sort of media rights deal because that seems to be the biggest question among the remaining teams.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they've had over a year to get this done when they had more of an alliance than they have had now. And these TV networks are not fools. I mean, they're not just going to throw money, especially nowadays. There's cutbacks going on in the whole business. The whole streaming deal is up in the air. I don't know how a network can make some sort of a deal here with the Pac-12 now, with the chance that some of the existing members are going to jump. And, oh, by the way, one thing. I talked about the Pac-12 being slow on the draw. The thought about San Diego State maybe being included, they were asleep at the switch on that, because once you got past July 1, San Diego State's exit fee from the Mountain West doubled. And I don't think they're a viable candidate to come in now. They're not going to want to. If the Pac did this before July 1, I mean, San Diego State might have found it more amenable, but there are some voices in the Pac-12 that didn't want a Cal State school in there. And you know who I'm talking about, those two schools in the Bay Area.
Bruce, the blame game on a lot of things, it's almost endless. And I know everybody wants to start, and it's a good primer to start with Larry Scott. I kind of want to exempt him for this exercise. And I want to go to some of the nameless, faceless entities that I probably couldn't even Google and get their names. That the state board of college or whatever it was last year that held out thought that they could block USC and UCLA. And then I want to go to the board of trustees at Stanford and at Cal. Their arrogance, they have them right here. I think you could see Cal in the next 5 to 8 years get out of the football business.
I think you could, and there's rumors up there that they've talked about the whole athletic department just either downscaling considerably or just eliminating it. I mean, Brett, you've been there for that game a few years ago, or Auburn's going this year too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different mindset. And Stanford, Stanford is so flush with resources and money, and just a quick note about Stanford. If you drive up there on that I-280, which is a little bit west of campus, and the campus sort of sits between 101 and 280, there is enormous amount of land there that is undeveloped that is owned by that school. I can't tell you what that land might be worth now. And this is on top of the incredible resource financial, the donations, the wealth of that school doesn't really need sports. So it's not that important to them. I think they'd be okay just saying, okay, we'll go independent in football. Maybe we'll hook up with the West Coast in basketball like BYU did. But they are the ones, back in the 70s, they fought hard against the Arizona expansion, which started in 78. And they were the last holdouts there. And even before that, after the old PCC, Pacific Coast Conference, broke up in the late 50s and got reassembled, in the late 50s and then to the early mid 60s. But even at that point, I mean, UCLA and Cal didn't want, Oregon State and Washington State to come back in the league. I mean, there's a lot of arrogance out there. But Scott is the point guy, and he made enough mistakes too. I will say this one thing about Scott. His first idea there actually wasn't a bad one, because he tried to co-opt half of the Big 12 back in 2010, right after he got the job, and he came close to pulling it off. That would have set the Pac-12, would have really changed the whole thing, and Texas A&M was included in that. And one of the guys who put the stop on it was Gene Stallings. He said he was still on the board at Texas A&M then, and he said, we shouldn't do this, guys. And it was Texas, it was Texas Tech, it was Baylor, and it was Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And there were going to be 6, and that was Larry Scott's first move. Couldn't quite pull it off.
What year was
that,
Bruce?
Decision he made after that, 2010.
And by that point, Rick Perry was governor of Texas, and I think he and Coach Stallings were kind of the two-man wrecking ball to stop that and get in the SEC.
Yes, and that was right about when the Longhorn Network was ready to launch too, and that may have had something to do with it as well. But the Longhorn Network, it prevented Texas from making a move for a while because they wanted to have that thing with them. But yeah, Coach Stallings and Governor Perry were involved in that. But every move after that Larry Scott made was bad. But it's the presidents at fault, and their fault mainly in the creation of the Pac-12 network and not partnering with Fox the way Big Ten did, ESPN the way SEC did, and trying to go it on their own. And they have not gotten the clearance that they needed. DirecTV, they've never been able to get on board. And the network has been a complete flop, and it's totally because of arrogance on the part of this. That's the presidents more than Larry Scott. He was just acting on what they told him, and they didn't. They wanted to go on their own, and they have, they reap what they have sown.
Yeah. Well, I know obviously a lot of the talk is about the Pac-12 and what they do now, but now you're hearing more talks about the ACC. Florida State is real antsy to try to get out of that conference and move to a different one. And now it sounds like the ACC is wanting to expand. Maybe West Virginia could be a candidate for them. What do you think happens with the ACC in the coming months?
Well, yeah, the ACC is an interesting case, and I've always thought West Virginia's kind of out there by itself. They are not really a Big 12 school, and their roots are in the East, and more with Pitt and Syracuse, and actually in the old days, Penn State, Boston College, and them. But the ACC is a better fit for them. Now, the ACC, though, how this fits in with the existing media rights deals is very tricky, and not all of them are the same, but generally it's very hard to get out of those. And Maryland found that out several years ago, getting out early of the ACC, and there were some big penalties. They went to court on it, and it was a mess. So the ACC, if I am not mistaken, their rights deal goes well into the next decade, into the 2030s.
Yeah.
So it's they're talking. Some of these schools would try to challenge that if they can. They're looking at lawsuits. But I think they're sort of afraid the ACC will get left behind. So I could see Jim Phillips and the commissioner and the rest of the chancellors and school presidents of the ACC maybe looking to expand a little bit. I mean, there was talk a couple of years ago that UCLA was interested in the ACC, and there's way out west. There's two still could be desirable free agents here in Washington and Oregon. I know this doesn't make any sense. I mean, how can you have a conference game, Seattle to Miami? That's the longest trip in the NFL, and it'll be the longest in college football. But nothing is off the table right now.
Yeah, and we're just not regional at all anymore, and there's no pretense around it. Bruce Marshall, Vegas insider, and also from college or from CBS Sports with us every Friday, talking all the movement in college sports. Jim Phillips wanted to change the story, and he got it changed, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he was at Northwestern when a lot of this stuff was going on there, and he has been, kind of gently dancing around all that, and maybe this conference stuff is the best thing that could happen to him. He seems to be an able administrator, but I'm not sure the last shoe has dropped on this whole Northwestern thing. And I bet he's had a few sleepless nights, even if he might not be he was not directly involved in it. But, he'll have a hard time saying he didn't know what was going on. And then he has to ask,
especially, Bruce, when they say everybody knew. Well, if everybody knew, the AD had to know.
Yep.
Yeah, you are right about that. Although sometimes in politics, the guys at the top sometimes don't know what's going on. So sometimes... college sports can be the same.
Well, they create that buffer of plausible deniability where it doesn't touch the guy. Well, I didn't know about that. That was some lower level national security. That's Bud McFarland. He did it all, Bruce. I know you'll know that. You'll know that name. But Bruce, did you go to ACC Media Days?
I did not this year. I just stayed in. I just did SEC, but we were in D.C. and in Florida in the last week. I did not go up to Charlotte. I've been there the last 2 years. They expanded it to 3 days, by the way. Mm-hmm. They used to be a 2-day affair. So
it was a good operation. Yeah. We Brian and I both agreed. Mark Packer on TV, son of Billy Packer, and kind of, I don't want to say their Paul Feinbaum, but a prominent voice and figure on the ACC network. I thought he was great covering it.
Yes, and those guys do a pretty good job because that's ACC network's part of ESPN too. And I remember being there with those guys last year and talking to them. And the last couple of years, I was actually to Charlotte. It's a very nice deal. I think that's sort of the way a media day should be because it's not quite as overwhelming as the SEC is. And I thought the ACC did it really well. It's right there in Charlotte, right across the street from the NASCAR Hall of Fame, which is a really neat one to visit.
Boogity.
How about that? Well, Bruce, I am curious. We had American Athletic Conference Day earlier this week, and we kind of got to see those those new 6 schools. It's kind of the first time we've publicly seen those coaches talk. And for a coach like Trent Dilfer, I'm interested because he's kind of been very outspoken this offseason about different things, NIL and players getting paid, and really these bigger schools coming and trying to take players from his roster. What do you think about Trent Dilfer at UAB? Do you think this is going to be a successful hire for him?
Well, I'm glad he said some of that stuff because I think he's probably right. Although I think this is the most roll of the dice hire in this entire carousel from this last season because he's had very little coaching experience. And it was just there on the high school level. And the last 2 years in Nashville area, he did well. But I believe there's 9 levels of Tennessee high school football. And that was the second to lowest, I believe, that he was winning the last couple of years. He's also brought in his defensive coordinator from the high school assignment. So, I mean, he is coming in. Listen, Jerry Faust, when he went to Notre Dame, had a lot of success at Moeller High. I mean, years and years. And Dilfer, this has only been a couple of years he's been even coaching. So this is a real roll of the dice by UAB. They got lucky with Bill Clark a few years ago, and unfortunately he had that bad back, and he had to resign. But I think this is a real roll of the dice by UAB. I mean, a real roll of the dice, and it's gonna be boom or bust. And I think more people seem to think it's going to be a bust. We'll see.
I do think a good coach is a good coach is a good coach, but this is, I mean, this isn't even Gus Malzahn or Hugh Freeze or Art Briles. You're right. This is the big roll of the dice. Bruce Marshall, how do you think it shakes out for the University of Memphis in 3 weeks? What will it look like for the University of Memphis in conference realignment?
I think they'll probably still be where they are. But, I mean, you'll never say never. And it depends on how – if the Big 12 really wants to expand now and nobody else from the Pac-12 wants to leave and they want to get to 14, you know, and then maybe they're on the speed dial of Brett Yormark. However, what I'm hearing, too, is UConn could be in play here. And this is now they're not in the American anymore, but that's a possibility, which surprised me a little bit because I thought after they win a national hoops title and they're back in the Big East where they belong, but here's football again, rearing its ugly head, and apparently they want a spot for it in the Big 12. It's a good hoops league too. I mean, UConn's way out of its element there, but it gives their football team a home, so that's one I would watch too. I'm not sure if that's just rumor or, you know, if they're really as much a contender as those Pac-12 schools. But, I mean, I think there's a few options the Big 12 has before it would go to Memphis. I think the Big 12 would have to swing and miss on a lot of these, and they want to get to an even number of schools for next year. And there's a chance Memphis gets a call, but I think it's remote.
Bruce, if UConn, if they get in over the Tigers, the collective, I've had enough, I can't take it anymore, would be overwhelming here.
Yes. Oh, I could imagine that. And, I mean, it's not like Memphis doesn't have a basketball program either. I mean,
really good.
You got a high-profile coach. You got a lot of success. You got a big NBA arena. So, and then it's in the footprint there. But they might be thinking that, hey, we get a school in the Northeast, TV, and that I wouldn't cross that off the list with UConn. I agree with you, though. I'd be upset if I were Memphis too. But there's a lot to be upset with college sports these days.
It sure is, and it's almost more off the field than on the field. I think I'll be really glad for a lot of reasons when we get into playing games, but I'm ready for that. I don't like that we're always, and we're compelled to, because that's the story. We got to go where the action is. But I wish it was more on the field conversation. But the potential of maybe even Memphis, the University of Memphis, in the ACC. Now, it would be probably an ACC that no longer had FSU in it. It seems they're Big Ten bound, maybe real soon, maybe in the next 2 weeks, even 3 weeks. But to get back in the league, they were in the Metro with Georgia Tech, of course with Louisville, even Virginia Tech, notwithstanding that Monday night when the Tigers were voted number one that afternoon and then lose that night at Castle Coliseum. But the fans would have a real association with those, and then bar basketball to be in there with Duke and North Carolina.
Oh, sure. I mean, that might actually be a better fit than the Big 12 for Memphis, especially with Louisville, and that goes back, a long way. I mean, some of those games, late 60s, early 70s, I mean, that was as good as it got, back when you used to be able to smoke cigarettes in the arenas, and that the cigarette up at Freedom Hall. I mean, there used to be like a cloud. Remember, Brett,
Sure
high in the arena there? And that was
with the
those games in
Kentucky
the 70s
Fair
were great.
Exposition Center logo at midcourt, and it took me years to figure out that wasn't for Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was. You would see KFEC at the center court, kind of carved out, and I'm going, what? Where's the E coming from? But it was Kentucky Fair and Exhibition Center, right, Bruce? At Freedom Hall.
Yes, it was. And by the way, that is the current. It's still there.
Is that right?
And the Bellarmine is now that's the home court. Believe it or not. So.
Bruce, I do want to ask you a baseball question before we let you go. The news came out a couple days ago that the Angels are going to hold on to Shohei. They're not going to deal him at the deadline. Are you surprised about that decision? And how likely do you think the Angels, I think yesterday before their doubleheader, about a 20% chance of making the playoffs. Do you think the Angels made the right move in keeping him around?
Yes, I do. And the more you think about it, I mean, if you're assuming you're not going to keep him and you want to pick up some assets from elsewhere, but then you're still just, it's still, you're not no real closer to contention. You're like another team. Swing for the fences here. The only shot they've got really to keep Shohei is just to prove they'll do anything to help him out, to make a run of the playoffs this year. And they've gone out. They made the Lucas Giolito move. So they're serious about this. Yeah. And Shohei he is predisposed to stay on the West Coast. And so I really think because of the better time to watch the games in Japan, which is a big deal for him, he gets a lot of money from Japan, endorsements and all. I mean, he's like he gets more money than Lionel Messi, I think, overall. But I agree with it, and I will say this: I don't think it's going to end up working for them, at least this year, because I've seen this team too many times go on these little hot and cold runs. Right now, they're on an uptick, but this weekend in Toronto, I could see them just as easily losing 3 straight, and then the thing starts to unravel. But I think it's a worthwhile roll of the dice. Why not? And the fan base is energized by it, and give it a shot. I mean, you got one chance to do it with this guy, and let's try to make it happen.
Yeah. Bruce, do you like any plays this weekend in Major League Baseball?
I'm looking. I mentioned Giolito a minute ago, so I'm looking to go against the White Sox here. They look like they have unfurled the white flag, or the White Sox flag, however you want to say that. Loses in 6 straight, 8 of 9. Giolito's gone. Dylan Cease could be the next to go. Tim Anderson is apparently on the block. So they are in definite sell mode. They've lost 6 straight, 8 of 9. Cleveland comes in here. They're going in a bullpen game tonight, it looks like, for Terry Francona with Curry starting. But I'm just going against the White Sox now until further notice. So I would go against them. I might give the Phillies a shot tonight, and this maybe is on the run line in Pittsburgh. So we got the all-Pennsylvania matchup here. Pittsburgh did finally win a series for the first time in a long time this week at San Diego. But Mitch Keller has not pitched that well lately. I thought the Phillies showed something winning that series from the Orioles. That felt like a playoff series, and Zach Wheeler has pitched pretty darn well lately. So I think I would give him a shot in the Phils tonight. And one more, I don't like this matchup. The Yankees and Baltimore this season. The Yankees have been poisoned, and the Baltimore has been great. But this pitching matchup tonight makes me think Yankees. Garrett Cole is very consistent. Yeah. Grayson Rodriguez. So we actually went down to the Trop and watched Rodriguez pitch against the Rays on Saturday last week, and Baltimore won that game. But he's been very erratic, and bullpens notwithstanding, because that could change the dynamic. But if you're judging this on the starters tonight, there's a big edge for the Yankees, and I would give Cole a shot at a short price against Baltimore.
I like it, Bruce. Where can we find more of you and your picks?
Yeah, check us out online at VegasInsider.com. I got picks here every day on baseball, and then we'll roll in some NFL preseason pretty soon. So my picks are up at VegasInsider.com and DonBest.com, and you can read my conference previews. We're actually in the American this week up at CBS Sportsline and Sportsline.com.
So I trust you're not putting out a 10 million star play coming up next Thursday night on the Hall of Fame game?
No, I think I'll sit that one out.
Okay.
Probably smart. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week.
Okay.
Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports, and he said he's on his conference preview for the American this week. So before long, you can go and see what he thinks about the Tigers and their future opponents.
You don't think he loves baseball? He went to the Trop. I wonder if he was under the A ring or the C ring or the D ring.
Well, how'd he get across that bridge? I mean,
it's almost impassable, isn't it?
Should have asked him.
Is it iced over? Bridges and overpasses?
That's right. You always see that sign. It's always a good thing to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about conference realignment.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Sportage P718, 2870, MSRP 28185. Seltos R752, 4361, MSRP 26015. Forte PG 211771, MSRP 21910. Includes all rebates and incentives. Plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties are limited. Powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear things are heating up over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
It's the hottest pricing we've ever had, Randy. 2023 Kia Forte gets 41 MPG highway at only $259 a month. $27.99 do-it signing. And a 2023 Sportage Vacation Ready at $308 a month. $34.99 do-it signing. Both 36-month lease.
And how about the new 2024 Seltos LX?
$295 a month with $29.99 do-it signing and 24-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
If we've learned anything from recent news, it's that unexpected things are happening. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Government emails are hacked. There's talk of how to fight World War III, and trade of grains and food are being disrupted. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing. But you know better. It's time to invest in self-reliance and emergency food storage now, more than ever. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunch, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. MyPatriotSupply.com.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every week. Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. A lot of conversation today has been about realignment for good reason. I mean, I think it's starting to hit the fan, and I think it's going to be a kind of domino effect. I said it earlier. I think that was just the first domino to drop. It really just, since that first report on Wednesday about Colorado potentially going to the Big 12, it really seemed like after that,
about right now,
everything started kicking up.
48 hours from that moment when you told me, you said, Brett, are you seeing this Colorado stuff? And I had not. I wasn't keeping a close eye on the Twitter machine. And we were going to do a different segment. I said, scrap that. This is what we're doing.
Yeah,
we agreed this is what we're doing.
Oh, absolutely. And it seemed like...
Made it sound more odious than I
No. But it just seemed like everybody was, in the college athletic world, was just sitting there waiting for somebody to make a move. And Colorado finally became that team, that person to make a move. And it just seems like since then, everyone wants to move now.
Was it that coincidental?
I don't think so.
Was it that Machiavellian? Somewhere in between coincidental and well-planned, I think, where it actually falls.
I think so. I think what you said earlier about wanting to kind of get media days out of the way first before making an announcement like that.
Us.
They really did. But
and they know they can.
Yes. But I don't know how much these other teams knew about it. I don't know how much the Pac-12 knew about it. Obviously, they didn't know anything about it. And so I do think... For a lot of people, it was just kind of sitting, waiting, who's going to move first. I think Colorado and the Big 12 were very strategic in how they did it.
The starter's gun has been fired.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Here's what I wanted, 901-360-8255. At our text line, one word from a Tiger persuasion, from Tiger fans, one word that kind of sets where you are.
Yeah.
Where are you? What would be the one word? Right now for me, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
What's your word? Exasperated? 2 words, beat down?
Tired, maybe?
Fair. Very fair.
I think...
If you think you're tired now, give it 6 weeks.
Yeah. I mean...
And it doesn't happen.
I just think in the whole thing... I mean, I'm very optimistic. I told Dave this morning when I was talking to him that I feel like in everything in life, I try to be a glass half full type of person. So when I see stuff like this...
But I want to be realistic.
But I want to be realistic.
I know there's no beaming machine.
Well, I don't know. But no.
At John's.
Yeah, we might, honestly. But, I think when you just kind of look... Go all the way back to Memphis, to the Big East. And that kind of celebration of, okay, we're there. We're going to the Big East. I mean, the Times Square has Memphis logos all over it. We've made it. And then that turns into the American. And then, okay, well, this time they're going to the Big 12. The Big 12 wants to expand. They're going. Big 12 does nothing. Then another time, they're going to the Big 12. The Big 12 is adding teams. And then 3 teams in your conference end up going to the Big 12. And now you're here again. Brett McMurphy saying the Tigers are one of the teams that if they go the group of 5, I'm tired.
My friends that are answering that question at the Brett text line, I get dejected, screwed again, and that's the theme of my friends texting me at 901-360-825. Thank you to the Brett text line too. But we wanted at the text line. Is anybody out there joining me in being hopeful?
I see a couple deflated in here, which I think is. I
can't tell anybody. It's almost. I'm gonna be really careful here. It's almost that person that's having that bad day and it's not just your run-of-the-mill bad day.
Yeah.
It's associated with maybe not being in a strong mental health day. The worst thing you can tell that person is snap out of it.
Yeah, be optimistic, be hopeful.
It's the last thing they want to hear. You've, as a friend, you've got to be very considerate and almost compliant to them to help them and to be a strong friend. You can't tell them, you got plenty to be happy about.
Exactly.
They do not want to hear that. And that's just the wrong thing to do. Today, it's the wrong thing to tell any Tiger fan. No. Don't be rueful. Don't be dejected. What'd you say?
Deflated.
Don't be deflated. You can't tell them don't be that way. But boy, for them, if in 3 weeks it's happy news, I would be so happy for that person right now. That word might be more of a inflammatory, rueful, sad word. I want it for them and the spring in their step that it would cause. And I'm still hopeful that could happen.
Yeah.
I mentioned it could be ACC.
Yeah.
And if it's ACC, I'm talking about it through the basketball prism. And so many times I've said, I don't know if I've shouted anybody down, but I've been forceful. It's not about basketball.
Yeah.
Well, if it's UConn, it is.
Sure is. It sure is. And when you kind of look.
It's Gonzaga.
It's certainly basketball.
They don't own a set of shoulder pads.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you look at this, and Brett Yormark has a history in basketball. And so it's very clear that he thinks that potentially there is a way to be successful from a basketball standpoint and make basketball a priority. But I just don't know. A couple other text messages. Brad said jumping and mattress burning. It's 4 words, but I'll take it. That's one sentence. I understand that. Someone else said...
All right, you can have more than one word. I'm not holding you to one.
Someone else texted...
We got plenty of room.
Yeah, please, as much as you want. Someone else texted and said probably end up in the ACC, kind of what we were talking about.
Would that be great?
I think it would be great.
Prefer it.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Duke, North Carolina, Tobacco Road.
Oh, man. I mean, you talk about from a basketball standpoint, that's awesome.
It's not about basketball.
It's not about
basketball. What if it is, though? What if it is?
Yeah.
And for a while, that basketball would involve Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So, I mean, I would love to be in the ACC. In the ACC, to me, almost feels like the one that makes a lot of sense. When you look at, they need to add teams. I know geography doesn't matter anymore. Nobody's thinking about geography, but geographically, you're right there.
Load up on a Friday afternoon, geography matters.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't think the ACC... is just completely out of the question. I think at some point, I said this earlier, I think at some point the ACC is going to have to do something. I mean, they can't sit here, especially whatever happens with Florida State. It doesn't sound great with Florida State.
Because they're in a battle with the Big 12 on who's number 3.
Yes. And so you're going to have to do something. Now, if you can maybe keep Florida State around and you still want to add and you go out and say, West Virginia, you are a great team for us in the ACC. Same thing kind of that you have with the Big 12 right now. You're not just going to add one school. So maybe you could get in there that way and be kind of that second team in an addition. So I still think there's a lot of options here for the Tigers. Got another text message, giving up. That's kind of what I with tired. I mean, it just seems like...
I would beg, please don't yet.
Yes, but it takes a lot out of you after, what is this, 4th, 5th time on the merry-go-round? I mean, it's
very, here's the word, exhausting.
It's exhausting. It really is. But I'm with you. I think there's still a lot of optimism of where the Tigers could go from here.
Friend of mine says, I hope in 3 weeks to go from dejected to parade on Bill, having to grease the light poles Philly
That'd
style.
That'd be great. I would be unbelievable.
I mean, if you thought the game day scene was great,
oh man,
that would look like kindergarten compared to really almost any conference other than when you're in. And I called it on AAC Media Day. I said 2026, 2027 sounded like a prison sentence.
Yeah.
It really does today.
Well, and that's just how fast it can move. I mean, you talk about going from deflated to parade on Beal. that's how fast this can happen. I mean, last week we weren't sitting here thinking, all right, in a week from now, the Big 12 is going to be adding some teams, and we're going to be talking expansion in the present sense. We're not going to be talking about expansion in the future. We're going to be talking about the here and now. I mean, just the thought of Colorado and potentially 1 to 3 more teams playing in the Big 12, not in 2026, 2027, 2028, 2024. That's right around the corner. I mean, it could be in a week time. We're talking now. And college football, as it looks right now, is worlds differently than what it looked like last week.
A really bad Colorado caused all this.
Mm-hmm. Deion Sanders caused all of this. I mean,
you can sure make that case.
Yeah.
I think I said it about Virginia at the time with Virginia Tech coming into the ACC and missed badly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to repeat, probably going to be just as wrong. I can't believe Virginia would sit there and let West Virginia come into their league.
It would be interesting. Now, I like this text message. Here's what I'm doing. Renewed season football tickets, renewed Highland 100, and going to games. That's what you got to do. You got to fill up those games. We talk about kind of the schedule for both football and basketball. Go to games. I mean, be energetic about this team, about this program, and instead of being deflated and tired, exhausted, I want to turn, for me at least, I want to turn that into let's push them to excitement. Let's build that excitement out of the program to where they are wanted from these other from these other conferences.
I would beg to stay hopeful for now, but I can certainly understand people really beaten down with this, and we're going to get this for 3 more weeks.
Oh, 100%.
Until August 15th, which that is a 2 weeks from Tuesday. Is that right? Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So 2.5 weeks, we're really going to get it until that FSU, what they have to notify the ACC. I know this time of month is a good time of month to be at All-Star Chevrolet. That's your first exit into Mississippi. That's Kraft Goodman Road on Highway 78, and you can get that new Silverado today. Tomorrow, this weekend, you can get it financed as low as 1.9%. We know what rates are doing. I know you can get it for 1.9. You can have a payment-free rest of the summer and into the fall because your good credit deserves it. Drive a Silverado or one of the Trailblazers, or see Kevin or Jeff for a custom order. If you're a first responder, military, educator, recent college grad, healthcare professional, you get an extra $500 in bonus cash. Kevin and Jeff asked me to thank all of you who are bringing your cars and trucks to All-Star to sell. They're paying great money, and you can get your check today, even if you still owe money against it. All-Star certified and pre-owned section, it's loaded. Certified Silverados, Corvette Stingrays, Tahoes, Jeeps, Ram trucks, and if you need service or maintenance, call Sean or Jeff in the All-Star Chevy Service Department. Remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Bartlett, Mount Moriah, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Kraft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Purchase a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Conway Services today and get up to $1,750 back plus a free Nest thermostat when Conway Services buys back your old, inefficient HVAC system. Guaranteed service and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Conway Services today. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
If you like where Mercedes-Benz has been, you're going to love where they're going. A full range of EVs now available at your local dealer. Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head. Experience the all-electric EQB, a versatile luxury SUV that can seat as many as 7. The brilliantly advanced and superbly equipped EQE SUV, positively alive with groundbreaking technology. The inspired EQE, the electric sedan with energizing comfort features that recharge you. The boundlessly capable EQS SUV, a vehicle that takes luxury and innovation to places they've never been before. And of course, the magnificent EQS, the flagship of all EVs, delivering the Mercedes electric experience on a truly epic scale. The vehicles are all electric. The feeling's all Mercedes. The choice is all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric model today at your local dealer or learn more at MBUSA.com.
Hey gang, King Curly here talking about Hotsy of Memphis. Located at 2732 Old Austin P is now hiring. We are the leader in industrial cleaning equipment, accessories, detergents, and car detailing supplies, and we need qualified mechanics and salespeople to join our winning team. Mechanics need a basic understanding of small engine repair, electronics, and product assembly. Sales applicants need basic computer skills, communication skills, and have a professional attitude. We offer competitive pay, benefits, and weekends off. Applicants must have a valid driver's license and be drug-free. Dress for success and apply in person at 2732 Old Austin P in Memphis. Hotsy of Memphis. Come join the area's leading pressure washing and detail supply team. Hotsy, 2732 Austin P in Memphis.
Summer's here and Gossett Kia on the Pike has the hottest deals you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Hit the highway with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $259 a month, $27.99 due at signing. 2023 Sportage LX 308 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 2023 World Performance Car 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, EPA estimated range 310 miles, $499 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 641,916, MSRP 21,910. Sportage P 718,270, MSRP 28,185. EV6 P 510, 5073, MSRP 49,965. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties are limited. Powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Happy Friday, guys. Friday big number. Any takers to want to go first on a Friday spectacular?
I always like it when you go first, Brent.
Okay, I'll go first today. My big number, I'm excited about this one. 14. Any guesses? 14 being the big number?
Pete Rose.
Incorrect. Jay Morgan, a guess on 14 being the big number?
I don't know.
That's the amount of pitches Miles Michaelis threw last night before he was ejected for throwing at Ian Happ.
Umpire freak show travesty.
Yep. And so if you did,
have you ever seen a larger group of conglomerate of players all in agreement on something to see the officials disagree? The Cubs dugout is laughing as he walks off the field because of how ridiculous it is he was thrown out.
First of all, why would Michaelis even be that irritated? Happ did not mean to hit Wilson Contreras.
No, not at all.
It was an accident.
Yes, big backswing, and it just happens.
Now, I haven't seen a good enough view of it. Was he in the batter's box?
Yeah, it was.
He didn't waller out the back and
he
give
was
an
in his
extra inch or two, did he?
It was just a big uppercut swing. I mean, he took a hack towards the moon.
I mean, it was a King Griffey Jr.
Yeah, that's
hack.
right.
He came around like a John Daly drive.
Yes,
I mean, it was back. So, but it was an accident, and for what that started. Now, I'm not making excuses. The Cubs pounded the Cardinals. They're better.
Yes, they are. But yeah, so you have that. Wilson Contreras gets hit. His mask flies off. He goes down. He has a cut on his forehead, it looks like. Him and Ian Happ, they hug it out kind of afterwards. Obviously, they played together. They're well aware with each other.
Goose is one up there about 75.
Michael tries to go up high, but not anything hard or anything, trying to up around the elbow, shoulder area. Misses, and then he just goes to the hip, hits him, and Ian Happ knew it was coming. He just walks down to first like nothing happened.
Who paid to see the umpires?
And then, you're out of here. And then Marmol comes out, loses his mind. You're also out of here. So 14, that's the amount of pitches. Hope nobody had any overs for Miles Michaelis last night because 14 pitches that wouldn't do it for you.
Jay Morgan?
My big number today is from the same game, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
So after Contreras goes out, old boy Kisner comes in. And Kisner,
Kiz.
God bless him, he's actually had
Batting
a really
cleanup.
He's had a really good week.
Adam Kisner, from what I called him the other day, remember?
Remember two names for him. It was Adam Kisner
and Alex.
And Alex Kisner.
But he was
neither.
Neither.
But that day, I can't remember what day it was we talked about that, but he had a great day that day, and he's had, like I just said, he's had a really good week at the dish, hitting the baseball, and he's already, the only reason he's in the league for this long is because of how good a backup catcher he is. 2 home runs yesterday. My big number today is 5. He's the 5th catcher in MLB history and 2nd Cardinal to come off the bench and hit 2 home runs in a baseball game.
I can answer the other one.
Who is it?
Keith McDonald.
Former Redbird Keith McDonald.
Wow.
I have his baseball card.
I think his first 2 big league at bats.
Wow.
Is that right?
I think.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
They gave him like a Rolex for doing it.
Wow.
It was really rare.
Kisner, literally the only offense for the Cardinals last night. It was insane.
Just what we all thought in late July.
right.
My big number is college football, and it doesn't roll off your tongue. The Pac-9, that's what they're down to.
It's rough out there on the West Coast.
Down to 9 and 7 are wobbly.
Well, only 2 that you know are staying there, Washington State and Oregon State. Where are they going?
And Oregon State announced today they're staying.
We love the Pac-12.
Where are you going?
We all, hey, Oregon State, we knew you were sticking around.
You're
you didn't need to
negotiating
announce
against
it.
yourself.
Yeah, it's rough. So only 9 teams. They're gonna have to do something. I mean,
do you think it's in play that we look up in 4 years and Cal and Stanford are playing big time diminished football, FCS, Division II?
Man, I don't know. I mean, maybe FCS. I could see them going and I don't know. Maybe joining a conference and just not taking football with them and being independent. That'd be very, unless they were to join the Big East or something like that.
You'd do no football before you went down.
I think so. But who knows? I mean, both those programs. Now, Stanford, I mean, you go back.
But it has happened historically over the long march. University of San Francisco at one time was a college football powerhouse. Marquette.
Yeah.
Marquette. Yeah. They were the Golden Flashes, played in Cotton Bowls.
Wow. I mean, I could see Cal definitely doing it before I could see Stanford doing it, but it's not that wide between the two of them, I don't think. And a lot of changes at Stanford coming this year for football, so We'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised, though. But look, we're getting to the weekend and some baseball games this weekend. But next week, we're going to be talking about NFL preseason football. I know you're going to be looking for a night out to watch those games, and I've got just the spot for you. It's Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley, right behind 117 Prime. Open from 4 to 11 Wednesday through Saturday and 4 to 8 on Sundays. I know nobody likes a loud bar where you can't hear yourself think, much less talk, but that's the opposite of Bell Tavern. Start your night with a gourmet burger and one of their great cocktails in a quiet, dimly lit bar that you can join a game at with your friends. And it's not just the burgers. Bell Tavern has the best bar food in Memphis and the coldest beer in the city. You know 117 Prime, just walk through their dining room and you're at the best bar in town. For more information about our friends at Bell Tavern, call 901-249-6580. That's 901-249-6580, or go online to belltavern.com. Let's go ahead and wrap up our second hour. When we come back, Bill Bender from the Sporting News will join us. We'll talk some college football and realignment with him. That's next.
I think it's the slow smoking over pecan and hickory wood.
It's the secret combination of dry rub spices.
Maybe it isn't one single thing that makes Central Barbecue special.
I didn't say it was one thing. I said there's probably one thing that makes Central Barbecue special that's more important than the other things that make Central Barbecue special.
It's the 24-hour meat marinade.
That was the name of my band in high school, Meat Marinade.
Let's try and focus on Central Barbecue spot, okay? Have we said Central Barbecue is special enough?
I'm not sure if we can say it enough because Central Barbecue is so special.
Ooh, nice. Going from Central Barbecue is special to Central Barbecue is so special.
That should probably do it.
Central Barbecue is so special.
Midsummer hiring is made simple with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you, but I'll tell you about a couple of things coming up right now. August 4th and 5th, the Ladies Championship at Fox Meadows and Galloway costs us $70, and it includes greens, fees, food and beverage, both rounds, and prizes. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com. There's better play every day on the Memphis Public Links.
O'Reilly.
Increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Right now, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for $10. See store for details. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Attention, everyone. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. Let me say that again. Family Leisure is needing your help to clear out their inventory. And to do so, there are tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools are $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pools for less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Hey, if you need patio furniture, they have patio furniture that's now up to 30% off. Spas are in stock. They're up to $1,200 off. Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. 24 months, same as cash financing, is now available through this sale. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory, so come and do your part at Family Leisure. Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage, Sportage P718, 2870, MSRP 28185, Seltos R752, 4361, MSRP 26015, Forte PG 211771, MSRP 21910, includes all rebates and incentives, plus finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties are limited. Powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear things are heating up over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
It's the hottest pricing we've ever had, Randy. 2023 Kia Forte gets 41 MPG highway at only $259 a month, $27.99 $34.99 due at signing, and a 2023 Sportage Vacation Ready at $308 a month. $34.99 due at signing. Both 36-month lease.
And how about the new 2024 Seltos LX?
$295 a month with $29.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time for our third and final hour. Bryant Dacus, Brett Norsworthy, Jay Morgan Harder with you, and joining us now, a regular during the college football season, Bill Bender from the Sporting News is with us now. Bill, thanks so much for joining us. And the college landscape has changed a lot in the last 48 hours. Colorado on the move back to the Big 12. What does this mean for college athletics?
Well, I mean, it means that the Big 12 is probably going to add another one.
Yeah.
As it's been reported by Brett McMurphy, it means, depending on who that one is, it could shape a lot of things. So if it's UConn, we'll just move on with our lives, right? But if it's a Pac-12 team, we'll see. If it's Arizona, that's going to kickstart a heck of a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Bill, we won't move on with our lives here in Memphis if it's UConn. That will be about the final straw. I mean, it will be people just really exasperated with the whole college landscape. And do we know it's just going to be one, or could they be the move to go to 16?
Yeah, if they had 3, I mean, Memphis certainly would be in play. Some of those Pac-12 schools might be in play. They could go UConn, Memphis, like UNLV or San Diego State, and go that route. I've seen UNLV mentioned a lot. Now, from a football standpoint, UNLV doesn't do much for me, but I understand market and value and, those kind of places. And Memphis is right there. Memphis was obviously on that line with UCF, BYU, Houston, and the other one, Cincinnati. How could I forget Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, when you look at the Pac-12, I know 2 schools I've heard a lot talked about, in addition to Arizona, has been Oregon and Washington. What do you think they do from here?
I don't know. And I say that in that's why you brought me on to say I don't know. I say it from the standpoint of what I don't know what the Big Ten wants.
Yeah.
I don't know that the Big Ten wants to add teams right now. You heard Tony Petitti say, our plan is to integrate USC and UCLA. You don't know what the Pac-12 is going to do. If I were Washington and Oregon, I would wait and see what this TV deal is. And if I could stay in that conference and be the king of that conference, I'm going to get in the playoff more often.
Yeah, that's true.
Bill, way back on Wednesday, before everything got reshuffled, I said that Jim Harbaugh should go out there this year in the Big Ten, win it all, and jump back into the NFL, because I don't think he's been appreciated enough at Michigan. They gave him his penalty. They put him in the penalty box. He had to give cash back, which is the headline, man bites dog, when a coach has to return cash. He's delivered on the field for him. He's turned the Ohio State game around. He's been in 2 playoffs, 5 different double-digit win seasons. I don't think there's appreciation of Jim Harbaugh back to his playing days. I don't think anybody appreciates his NFL playing days, 26,000 yards passing yards for him. I don't think he's appreciated enough. If I'm him, I win it all and I get out of there.
Well, he has a lot of sympathizers, obviously. We've talked about him for years on your show, and I've always been of even keel with Jim, even when they were trying to fire him, because I knew what he meant to Michigan football. And this 4-game suspension is so weird to me, because I get why it happened. You know, the whole not cooperating with the NCAA. But the NCAA, the unintended consequence here is the NCAA has turned Jim Harbaugh into a martyr of sorts to the point where Paul Feinbaum's defending him. And that hasn't happened in the last 9 years.
That's really man bites dog there.
Right. So the other half of it is not a big deal if he misses 4 games unless Michigan loses later, which is such a weird thing. There's a lot of hype around this team. He loves this team. They've got a ton of depth. I still don't know if they're good enough to beat a Georgia or an Alabama, but I know they're good enough to hang for 4 quarters with Ohio State. That wasn't the case 3 years ago.
Yeah. That's right. And Ohio State's right. They're right there with Georgia and Alabama on roster composition.
Yeah, I mean, those are the 3 most talented rosters in the country, and you could make a case that Ohio State has the most talented roster this year. I know they got to figure out quarterback, but
they will.
I mean, they've got Marvin Harrison, they've got Emeka Egbuka, they've got like 3 other probable first-round picks. So, I mean, on paper, that's what to watch. Now, Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State, we also, one of our big week 1 overreactions is going to be, okay, how did Carson Beck look? How did Kyle McCord look? I have no idea who Alabama's starting quarterback is, guys. This is why you brought me in. But I think it might be Tyler Buchner.
I'm going to wait till our first hit game week, which will be week 1, not week 0, before I give you my college football playoff. It's wild. It involves both Michigan and Ohio State. Do you know, Bill, who controls and how it's controlled the Pac-whatever's relationship with the Rose Bowl? Would a Rose Bowl bid stay there if it became a newfangled Pac-whatever?
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, that's the other surreal part of it for me. And I was talking to Todd Blackledge about this at Big Ten Media Day of, you know, is it weird? It's so weird to think of USC as a Big Ten power, which is what we're going to have to do next year. Now, I'll tell you my preseason full projections, and here's who Sporting News has in the playoff. It is Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and USC. So Big Ten teams the Big Ten guys could say, hey, that's 3 Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
We're 3 out of 4. My other one, and I'll tell you how I got there when we have you the first week. I have Tennessee, and it's the year of rematches for me. I have a Tennessee-Georgia rematch in the Sugar Bowl, and I have a Michigan-Ohio State rematch at the Rose Bowl Stadium in the Rose Bowl game. We'll get to that in a few weeks. It was fun watching Big Ten Media Days. Both Bryant and I and Jay Moore, we all watch closely. We've watched all these. Big 12, I was at SEC. We watched ACC closely, kept up closely with AAC and Big Ten. And the day they rolled out all the network kind of big guns, Danielson, Blackledge, Klatt, I thought, it's really happening.
Oh, man.
CBS 2:30 game is going to be Big Ten now after this year.
Yeah, and, you know, here's the deal. Your playoff and my playoff and future seasons, the most, I would say more often than not, the Final Four, when we go to 12, will be comprised exclusively of SEC and Big Ten teams. Yeah. At least 3 of the 4. At least in the first couple years of the 12-team playoff. And that's why there's this big TV race. I mean, it's ESPN, it's Fox, it's NBC with the primetime game, SEC on CBS, Big Ten on CBS now. So, you know, I talk to my editor about this all the time. You can find the games. We all have remote controls and clickers, whatever you guys call them. I call mine the remote, but it's going to be all about the SEC and the Big Ten. And that's why the Big 12 and the Pac-12 and the ACC are kind of scrambling to survive.
Yeah.
Has your Mark done a good job for survival?
I mean, I can't see how the answer isn't yes.
Yeah. He survived, and that was
a
task.
And they've been aggressive, and they've, you know, I kind of like, I use the boxing analogy a little bit, that I think he understands their weight class. Because the ads they've made after losing 2 people, and this is something that you said you guys watched Big 12 Media Day, the tone I took from that is they're not necessarily sad to see Oklahoma and Texas go. I mean, they're bringing their weight class is everybody has a stadium from 50 to 60,000, a couple 70,000. Everybody's going to be competitive. The parity should be fun, and they're going to get a team in the playoff every year. Why not? I think for Cincinnati, BYU, if it comes to it for a school like Memphis, it's an outstanding opportunity.
And Bill, I like your weight class, but I use like the flights at kind of the local place to play. Championship flight, first flight, second flight. And Bill, we listen to you on Saturday morning on the golf show.
Yeah, we do.
We hear you every Saturday morning. So I know you know the golf lingo. Whether it's weight class or flights, it feels like we're realigning for the championship flight to maybe only have 2 leagues in the SEC and Big Ten, and then everybody else somehow try to fill the first and second flight or the lighter weight classes.
Well, the other part of it, the casualty of this, and it was talked about in Indianapolis, was this notion that, Ryan Day opened the door a little bit, and we all took it where, I'll say it, the Ohio State-Michigan game may move off that regular season finale at some point. I don't think
I don't like that.
I don't think it'll happen until one time where they play in the Big Ten championship game. And then we kind of see what it's like where they play and then play again and then potentially have to play a third time. I still think it could be awesome in some ways. But, we'll see. And I think, but that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a sport where I was arguing with a friend the other day about Colorado and Nebraska and whether or not that was actually a huge rivalry. I was like, are you crazy? In the 90s, that thing was the premier game on Thanksgiving week.
And never let you down. It was always a wild game. So Bill, if we can have the open conversation about the end of Michigan, Ohio State being on that weekend, can we have it about the Iron Bowl?
Ooh.
I mean, eventually, yeah. But I think the difference with the SEC is when Texas and Oklahoma come in, there are bound to be new rivalries that get created.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Texas, Alabama could be as big as the Iron Bowl.
Texas LSU.
Texas LSU could be the biggest rivalry on that side of the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's crazy to think Texas Alabama could become just as big as the Iron Bowl because I've watched LSU Alabama be the premier game in college football for 25 years.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about conference realignment, I know right now a lot of the conversation is around the Big 12 and the Pac-12, I guess Pac-9 now we could call it. But when you look at the ACC, what do they do now? I mean, you're hearing kind of talks about Florida State kind of getting antsy. They want to move. And now the ACC is kind of talking about expanding in their own right. What happens with the ACC going forward?
Well, I mean, they got to hold on to that Notre Dame agreement because that'll help. And right now, they're fine. I mean, from a football standpoint, they've got a good relationship with they've got a good relationship with ESPN. They've got Clemson and Florida State. They're fine. And then if Miami ever got its act together, they'd have 3. But I understand. I mean, right now it's the race to be third, and in that race to be third, schools like Miami, Florida State, Clemson, they might get a little antsy.
Yeah.
A friend of mine with a distinguished background in college sports just texted me. He goes, moved Florida, Tennessee up in the season in the mid-'90s, and that rivalry took off. I mean, there was a time that the rivalry to UT fans was third Saturday in October. It became Florida. Things change.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of it's by I talked about LSU, Alabama. Your friend is absolutely right because in the 90s, Florida LSU or Florida Tennessee was probably the biggest game of the year.
September blockbuster.
It was because it determined the East every year. And, was it bigger than Florida State, Miami? I don't know, man. That was pretty big, too, in the 90s. But now, Florida State, Miami, you can – I remember last year or the year before, Brad, I can't remember which one. I forgot it was on. I literally flipped over a channel. I was like, oh, Florida State, Miami was today.
Yeah.
Wasn't like that in the 90s.
No, not at all. Talking to Bill Bender from the Sporting News, joining us to talk some college football. And Brett went back 48 hours earlier talking about Wednesday. When you go back to Wednesday, kind of the biggest story in college football was still the Northwestern situation that got Pat Fitzgerald fired over hazing. What did you make of that situation?
I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can cover it in a minute, but just that made me second guess myself, because over the years, talking to Pat and talking to coaches about Pat, he was considered one of the best stand-up guy, And then you have those things going on in a locker room. My biggest takeaway is moving forward, for all these college coaches, that a locker room, for all the things that can go on there with college kids, has to be as close to a professional workplace as possible, or more things like this will happen.
Yeah. Bill, I know it's both, and I know you're going to do both, and we're going to talk about both. But which one do you prefer? And especially at this time of year. If this had been a more May thing, fine. We're approaching August and camp's opening. Do you prefer the off the field stuff or the on the field stuff?
Oh, on the field, easy. I love the off season. Don't get me wrong, and I like writing preview material and all that stuff. There's nothing like. I like reacting to what happens on the field more than I do reacting to what happens off the field. But I think it's almost like college fans, it's probably 50-50. Because I'm telling you, what gets read at our site more than anything else is talking about, writing about, reacting to realignment. And that's wild to me.
Yeah, it's something that everyone gets excited about, that's for sure.
Here in Memphis, and it took until we got an NBA team for me to realize just how great the NBA offseason that it is, not just content for this show, but also the intrigue around it. And I think they supplanted baseball as the better offseason.
Yeah. Oh, it's right up there with the NFL. It is. And NBA offseason talk. I'm not a huge NBA guy, but I know enough to see when the players are moving around. I think NBA free agency, out of all of them, and recruiting included, gets the most attention because there's so few guys on the teams. And when these superstars move around, it gets a lot. It's not like that in the NFL, but NFL's still king, man. I used to see my text from my buddies when Joe Burrow got hurt yesterday. It would not stop.
Yeah, the Bengals fans, their life flashed before them.
Yeah, a couple of my buddies did. But it sounds like he's going to be out for a while, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm just glad it's not a season-ending type deal.
Our friend Bill Bender from the Sporting News with us. He'll be a regular at 3:30 Central starting Thursday of game week 1, not week 0. We're going to give him a break from us between now and then. But one more thing, Bill. This year, so many people talking about who could be TCU from last year. Do you have any prime suspects?
The easy ones are like Tennessee and Penn State, but they're not TCU. Like the team that probably profiles most like it, believe it or not, is Texas A&M, because I don't think many people think they could go from 5-7 to the playoff. But hired Bobby Petrino, have a 5-star quarterback, have proven the last couple of years they could hang with Alabama. That would be my kind of best guess. And then if you want to go to a school outside the SEC, somebody like Oregon State.
That's the one we've settled on. But they won 10 games last year.
I don't think anybody, if you go out on the street right now, and I did the same here in Pickerington, I said, how many games did Oregon State win last year? And nobody outside of Corvallis knows.
No chance.
It's a good point. It's very, especially here in this area. No, it's late football.
Here's another one similar to that. I don't think people would get their number of wins right. They know they've been good. Clemson, it's only been a dip. They're still winning double-digit games every year.
Yeah, they're underappreciated, and I think it's just because they haven't gone to the playoff twice, and it's easy to forget that they.
Is it Dabo fatigue?
Right? I think so, and I think it's just their dominance. That after Ohio State beat them in the Sugar Bowl, I think people just kind of said, "Well, they're frauds," but they have a quarterback. They hired Garrett Riley. They do have a lot of NFL talent on that defense, so it could certainly, if Clemson went right back to the playoff, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
They're about a 9-win away from us dusting off Clemsoning.
Yeah.
See how that. Well, they lost to who last year? South Carolina. Finally, Notre Dame and Tennessee. Those aren't exactly bad teams.
No,
it was just the way they got beat that was eye-opening.
But they don't want to be in the Cheez-It Bowl.
No, not at all.
No, and that's what's going to make it interesting. Florida State, Clemson in September is huge.
Well, Bill, last thing for you, because you mentioned Penn State, and I loved watching that team last year, especially late in the season when they rattled off those 5 straight wins to end the season, including that Rose Bowl win over Utah. How good can this Penn State team be?
I mean, they're excited.
Yeah.
They should be. They've got a ton of young talent. They've also got a ton of NFL talent, but it comes down to 2 games. I mean, for all the talk about Michigan and Ohio State, I mean, James Franklin's 4-14 against those 2 schools.
Yeah.
They lost to both of them. Here's the stat for you guys. They haven't beat a ranked Ohio State and ranked Michigan team in the same season since 1994, and that was an unbeaten season. That's what they have to do.
Yeah. That's what it's all going to come down to for sure. But, Bill, thanks so much for joining us. A lot of fun catching up to you, and it won't be long before we're talking to you weekly.
No problem. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much.
Bill Bender from the Sporting News joining us to talk some college football, and he'll be a weekly guest once we start the college football season. We really get into the full swing of things for football.
Oregon State, nobody would. You could not get close to that. If you went polling people this weekend, and we mentioned Clemson, but they won so much, I don't ever want to play the disrespect. They haven't been that. I do think it's Dabo fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some of that. I mean, I think you get that with a lot, and especially kind of the way Dabo carries himself, I think kind of can rub people the wrong way. But for Oregon State, I mean, you are absolutely right. I mean, I think you look out there and you think, it's Oregon State, and it's especially here in this time zone, it's so late to stay up and watch those games and pay attention to them and stuff. I don't think you would have many people at all saying, oh, yeah, Oregon State, they were great last year.
And I can't remember the bowl game, but they put it on Florida in whatever bowl.
It was one of the first ones, I think, in Las Vegas or something
and
like
Florida
that.
really one of the all-time ugly Florida bowl performances.
It really, I mean, didn't even
and
show
that was
up.
saying something after some of the Mullen Florida bowl performances.
You're right. But, no, they were a good team last year. You had DJU, who I think kind of left a bad taste in people's mouth last year, but still I think can be a really good quarterback. Let's see, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, a big win for Oregon State. 30-3 on December 17th, an early game, 11:30 game on ESPN.
They got it going.
Whew, if you like scoring, you certainly like that one.
Baseball trade deadline, rumor mill's really, really swirling. What centers around the Cardinals?
I mean, I think it's that.
What did Matt Pauley say?
Matt Pauley said pitching. He thinks he first off said, let's get it straight that they're not going to go out there and get a all-star caliber starting pitcher at
Why
the
not?
deadline.
The White Sox are giving them away.
The White Sox are giving them away by the
That's the
bunches.
reason there's one available.
But he said Jordan Montgomery and Jack Flaherty. I think he said I asked him who are 2 or 3 guys that are not on the roster next week, and he said the most confident I'm in is Jack Flaherty and Jordan Montgomery won't be on this roster next week.
MLB.com wrote an article earlier today about possible trade destinations, and while they did say, obviously, they're very interested in getting this time of year people to click on the stories they put on the website. Not to say that it's erroneous what was being said in the article, but they were talking about the Dodgers and Cardinals talking about a possibility of trading for Nolan Arenado, albeit a long shot, is what was said.
That was reported yesterday by the Los Angeles Times. Right, they were talking.
But what they said today is it's a long shot to even possibly occur, but it is being discussed,
kind of thrown out there.
All right, of course, with the right deal, of course, with the right return, it's up to us if Arenado gets moved. Let's have a show of hands. Who's for him being dealt?
I'm against.
I'm also against.
I'm the only one for it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you got to give to get.
I think so.
Where are the Cardinals going to be in a year if you keep him?
See, I like the lineup. I think they're a couple pitchers away, quite frankly. However, I'm probably more prone to never selling than I am to sell. I get what you're saying, Brett. You have to give to get, and part of the reason probably why I'm not a general manager on top of a million other reasons is I'm probably not willing enough. I'm not willing enough to get rid of guys like that and sell it when it quote unquote is necessary. I'd probably always stay on the side of caution and let's revamp and go again. Yeah. But it seems to be that the prevailing opinion most of the time is selling.
I can just see John Moselli now. Trade deadline comes and goes, and just wasn't the right deals out there for us. We just couldn't do anything.
I feel like we're going to get the same imaging we got last year where he's going from locker to locker and hey, Carlson, don't worry. We were never going to trade you, buddy. You're always a Cardinal to us. And
Cardinal for life.
That's what happened last year.
Can you be a CFL? Do you have any Cardinal for life gear, Jay Morgan?
We know you have VFL gear.
Yeah, I do have VFL gear. I got some Cardinal gear somewhere.
Got a Football Time in Tennessee magazine.
Of course I do.
Always throwing that one out there. But it's gonna be interesting what happens with the Cardinals. I think you'll kind of start seeing some moves with them over the weekend. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
The FedEx Cup playoffs start in Memphis at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Come out to TPC Southwind August 9th through the 13th and watch the PGA Tour's top players battle to make it through Memphis. Enjoy Memphis at its finest with specialty cocktails, local eats, a vibrant atmosphere, and much more. 2 kids 15 and under admitted free with a ticketed adult. Daily grounds and upgraded tickets are available now at FedExChampionship.com.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Barden Stone has been serving the Mid-South area for over 3 generations. What sets them apart and makes them unique? Landscape Stone Center? They have one of the largest selections with a wide variety of colors and sizes, all the way from cobblestones to garden rock and pebbles from ground cover. Plus fieldstone and flagstone, stepping stones and stacking stones, even landscape boulders. In addition to a wide variety of stones and rocks, Barden Stone staff is very knowledgeable. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or design professional, Barden Stone can answer any question pertaining to the use of stones from A to Z. Barden Stone, they know stone inside and out. Barden Stone, 1 mile south of Park at 1557 Cherry Road. Barden Stone, open for you Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Call 901-683-8264 and visit Barden Stone.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STREAK to 321-321. That's STREAK to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Are
you ready to conquer the great outdoors? Come in today and gear up with the dependable Suzuki King Quad ATV, because there's no rest for the rugged. Its unparalleled combination of power, versatility, and reliability allow you to tackle the toughest terrains with ease. And right now, there are lots of ways to help you hit the trail, including low APR financing and low monthly payments for qualified buyers, discounts for the military and first responders, and more. Roll into Olive Branch Motorsports in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and experience the Suzuki King Quad ATV's unmatched capabilities today.
Hey Mid-South, the Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event has never been hotter than right now at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. How about 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander? 7 seats, 27 MPG combined. We Gossett at $449 a month. Or get ready to take your pick from 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander or 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range, 64 combined MPGe. Get ready to ride for just $499 a month at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
20 cents excess mileage. Outlander PZ012158, MSRP 34555. Outlander SE PZ041164, MSRP 35585. PHEV PZ040302, 24-month, 12,000 miles per year, MSRP 48230. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax island license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. A little less than 30 minutes left in today's show, left in this week before we get to the weekend. And we kind of talked a little bit.
Last weekend of July.
That's hard to believe. That really is hard to believe.
And then one more month. And we're into John Harden Burr months.
Oh, man, we're there. It blew my mind. I mean, now, Brett, not in the wise words of J. Morgan Harder, not to view everything in the prism of gambling. But we do. But when I was looking last night.
I did say that once.
When I was looking last night at different things and looking at football, and I saw Thursday night, the Hall of Fame game, 1 week from today. I guess this was yesterday. 1 week from yesterday. Oh, I got so excited.
I don't care if ninth stringers from Schenectady Tech are playing. Just to hear the NBC music roll on and to watch and follow. And then the screaming take on Twitter will be, get rid of preseason games.
That's right. And I called my girlfriend last night. I said, clear your calendar for Thursday night. We got football to watch.
Speaking of screaming Twitter takes, you could argue, whatever happened to our friends at the Threads?
Oh, Threads kind of died out. I mean, it's still a thing. Someone actually followed me on Threads today, but nobody gets on Threads anymore.
The Threads.
Threads didn't last long enough to get a new suit, did they?
Threads didn't last a weekend.
And it goes to show Twitter's not going away. You can get as mad at Elon as you want, and I'm moving away.
Mm-hmm.
One could argue in the last 48 hours, sports has been moved by Twitter more than anything else, more than politics, more than the heat wave.
Yeah. I mean, it's
breaking news. July 28th. It's hot.
Welcome to summer.
Who saw that one coming?
I mean, welcome to summer. It's hot outside. But no, you're right. I mean, you can't get on Twitter and not see screaming take about this or that.
You run for your life screaming
takes. Oh man, it's
And a month ago, Threads was going to be the new thing. All the cool kids were leaving Twitter.
That's right, but
nobody left.
No, nobody left. It was cool for like a day, and you're like, okay, what's this?
Well,
new
the
Threads
one
thing?
day statistics aren't enough to constitute like this is the next big thing, right? You have to have a certain amount of longevity.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I think a slow build is better. Like if something has come out of nowhere, seemingly,
like Twitter did.
Twitter did. I think of Vine, which is now may it rest in peace, and kind of the precursor to the TikTok, as it were.
Yeah.
But that one kind of
miss Vine.
Oh, you missed
did.
Vine. It was kind of a precursor to the TikTok. That was a while ago. That was
I love
before.
Vine. Oh man.
That's before I even knew you, Brett. Vine existed. But no, the Threads was too good to be true.
It really was. And then everyone was signing up for him. It was all these stats of like it's the fastest ever signed up social media.
But that's how you know. That's what I'm saying. That's how you know it wasn't going to last.
Yeah, it was just kind of a spur of the moment. Everybody hop onto this, and then And, of course, the kind of disguise of, well, we can get away from Elon now and be on this new site. And then...
that was always the appeal, wasn't it?
That was the appeal, for sure.
And I think a lot of the anti-Elon, a lot of let's go to Threads, it's largely driven by the political media.
Sure. But...
And they want their sandbox all to themselves and how we tell you it's to be done.
Yeah, and so...
we don't need Bad Man Orange on it. we don't need all you other people on it. We want to be on it.
Yeah, and a lot of people not liking what Elon did, but much better than whatever Threads was. I mean, I was on there for one night, and I was like, this is...
I never bought the Threads.
Also, the concept of it's going to be exactly like Twitter, but you're going to have to start back from scratch and find all of these different people and things that you like to follow. And so it was almost like starting back from ground zero. In terms of like...
When you follow 74 people, I think I could read
but I follow a ton of people.
Yeah.
And so it's not for me at least, it's not about because I know some people are like, oh man, I'm starting back with 0 followers. I could care less how many people follow me. But for me, it's like if I'm going to get onto this social media app, I want to see things I want to see that are my interests, and it would be starting back from scratch, and that just seems so hard and so difficult.
And I make sure I send a Christmas card to all of my followers. I want to know them all intimately enough that I can send them all Christmas
weird.
cards.
I've never gotten a Christmas card.
Well, I didn't know you intimately enough back then.
Maybe this year.
Christmas cards last year.
Cross my fingers I make the list this year.
A little hurt, too.
Well, this year, Brett. We'll make it this year.
It's always this year.
Me and my dog. You know what single people do? It's me and the dog.
I
don't have a dog, unfortunately. My parents have a dog.
In the prime year of sending and receiving, and I love holiday cards.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Now, but I've long since. I think after my mother passed, I did send some that year to people that were really good to me. But every year to send that tranche of 75 to 100, I long since passed that. I did for a long time and enjoyed it. But in the wheelhouse years, I'm not kidding you. And if you send them, you'll get more.
Yeah,
it's the old saying: if you want to get invited to stuff, you got to go to stuff.
That's right.
And if you want to get holiday cards, you got to send them. So I was getting a lot back. I'm not kidding you. It looked like a cross between a veterinarian clinic and a preschool. Yeah. It was just babies and dogs everywhere.
Dogs and babies. Staple to Christmas cards. Really is. But
sound like the Beatles there, Brett. And in the end, the love you make is equal to the love you take.
There you go.
Wow. I didn't think we were going to get a Beatles
That's what he's saying. The more you give, the more you get.
That's true.
That was last week at Liverpool. We got Beatles.
That's right. It's the Senior Open this week. That's what I'm about.
Where are they playing?
I don't know where they're playing, honestly.
So Beatles and senior tour talk is what I got
it's
this
a Friday,
segment. Didn't think that was coming. Not
it's a party now.
Sure
I can't control
it.
And
2 minutes to baseball starting.
Wow.
So you got some live sports. The Cubs are on the road, so you don't get the North Side Friday afternoon baseball game.
Oh, man.
You got to wait till 5:49. It's about to kick off with Tigers and Marlins. Miggy going back to Miami.
And having a big ceremony.
Yeah, very much so. That'd be really exciting. Especially in his last season. It's great celebration.
It really is.
All-timer.
Yeah.
And I think he was on all our lists for Tigers and Marlins.
Certainly.
100%. I'm going to say something about baseball. Ollie Marmol suspended for tonight, in case you didn't see that.
That's automatic, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Miles Michaelis also suspended
5
for
games,
1
missed
game.
1 start.
But he's appealing it, so we'll see what happens from that.
It was last night at AutoZone Park, and it will be tonight. I'm going tonight, and it will be in St. Louis. And this is a series that always draws. I mean, if you're on I-55 today, Shelby County, DeSoto County, and Arkansas tags are blowing by you going to St. Louis. It will be a steamer. I mean, smoking hot.
Oh, yeah.
It's brutally hot.
It's going to be hot. And, I mean, I was out there this morning, and it was hot. And
yeah, my walking didn't last long this morning.
Thankfully,
it was too steamy.
I've been in this building all day. I haven't had to deal with the heat, but it's going to be a hot one. So we talked kind of before the break about kind of Matt Pauley. He joined us yesterday, kind of what he said about the trade deadline. And I asked him, the last question we asked him is, a week from now, who is not a part of this St. Louis Cardinals team? I'll ask that to you. A week from now, who's not a Cardinal?
Flaherty, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Carlson, It's the
full
clean
sell.
And if it's not, then why not?
Yeah.
What do you have confidence in? What O'Neal hadn't, this is a way back reference. Tyler O'Neal may very well. Here's one I know y'all understand. For a few years, Randall Gritchick made him pay.
Yeah.
For a few years, Tommy Pham made him pay.
Randall Gritchick still, maybe not making the Cardinals pay, but he's making somebody pay. I see his name in headlines once a week.
Rosarena's making you pay right now. Way back, I mean, they tried him everywhere. Tried to make him a third baseman, a right fielder. Wasn't going to be in center fielder wasn't going to be in center field because of Willie McGee. They gave Andy Van Slyke every chance to be a regular. Just didn't work.
Right.
Deal him to Pittsburgh, he flourished. He blossomed.
Yep.
Took off to all-star, not superstar, but all-star rest of his career.
Yeah.
And that could happen with Tyler O'Neal, but haven't you seen enough? If you go burn us, go burn us.
Yeah.
I've seen you enough.
Yeah, but I think you've also, I mean, it feels like lately every single trade you make, that player turns into a superstar at wherever they go. So, but
Lane Thomas,
that's one for the Nationals.
Kind of. And then watching Mason win last night, I think he's the future at shortstop.
He's got a strong arm, and his bat has been really hot lately. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised here in a week if you see him in St. Louis. I mean, and just
why not?
Why not just give him some
lumps,
at-bats, especially if you kind of deal DeYoung or one of those middle infielders. I don't know why you wouldn't just kind of, if you go full sell, kind of your idea of full sell. Why not just send him up there and let him get those at-bats?
See, I just don't. I don't think you little bit go. Full blow up. Yeah. I mean, you blow it up.
Yeah.
You don't want a little fire.
Yeah. One, I mean, I think obviously if you're including Nolan Arenado and Goldschmidt in trades, obviously you're going to get something back that is, if not MLB-ready talent, very close to MLB talent. I think when you kind of talk about Tyler O'Neal and Paul DeYoung especially, and Jordan Montgomery, those are guys that are going to come in here, and they're not going to be an estimated MLB ready until 2025, 2026. They're going to be very young guys, very young prospects. You're definitely going to get something back if you go for one of those two big boys at the corners.
And what they will return, but imagine the teams that would get them.
Oh, yeah. Well, and
imagine return of Paul Goldschmidt to Phoenix, to Arizona.
Yeah, I mean that would be interesting. I know, Jay Morgan mentioned it a second ago, the very interesting reports last night that the Dodgers have at least reached out to the Cardinals and kind of had talks about potentially a Nolan Arenado trade.
Speaking of the Dodgers, and next year there will not be the Cardinal spring training schedule. It's out next year. Times aren't set, but dates and opponents, they're set. There will not be an exhibition game at AutoZone Park. Hadn't been one since 2019. We know COVID got us in 20 and really in 21, but none in 22, none this year. Next year, spring training, the last two games are going to be in Mesa, Arizona, as the Cardinals are en route to open the season at Dodger Stadium.
Interesting. I didn't catch that when I was looking at their spring training schedule, but it's interesting. But it's a shame that obviously couldn't account for COVID. I mean, there's nothing you could have done about COVID.
And they very rarely would come back 2 years ago.
Sure.
You understood 20, even 21. But now, after 22, 23, and what will be 24, so if they get a game in 25, that'll be 6 years if they get it.
Shame.
At that point, you just hope Memphis is still affiliated with the Cardinals.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were talking about Tuesday and Wednesday whenever we had that conversation. And so you do hope, but it is a shame. I mean, because that was always just a great day to be able to go down to the ballpark. For
a lot of people to see the birds on the bat.
Yeah, and now to go so long without having that with seemingly...
It's like you're not even a partner.
Well, exactly. I mean, it doesn't even seem like there's a thought of, well, let's go down to Memphis and play an exhibition now, when it was always a thought.
Now, I don't know, and I should know this, and I'm going to look it up. I wonder how many, if any, in that time they've been to Springfield.
See, I don't know, but I would probably say None, if any. I mean, I would be surprised.
We know not 20 and 21.
No, we know not that, but I'd be surprised if they've gone at all. I mean, I think you would see something about it, hear something about it. So definitely a shame that
I'm all in
happened.
for the Orioles the rest of the way.
Orioles.
Oh, you're an O's guy. Is that your AL team, Brett?
At one time in my life, I promised they were. Because of Brooks Roberts.
I've heard you talk about
they
it.
They still could be. That's the great thing about the National and American leagues. You can pick one from both.
Right. And then in the D.C. Summers, really loved going to Orioles. But there was no Nationals then.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're fun. They're a fun young team.
One day, Brett, I'm going to get you on the bandwagon with me. I'm going to get you to pick a team that you're a fan of from every division in baseball, and you're going to power rank them, and those are going to be your teams you're going to ride or die. The Cardinals at the top. The Cardinals are your team. They're sacrosanct. And not going to make you take away the Cardinals.
Do I have to spend money on these other teams?
No, just tune in every now and again. See them once a week, maybe. That's all I ask. Once a series at most.
Ooh, I like it. Well, let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
At Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat, it's time to make this the summer sales event you've been hoping for. Take a power trip in 2023 Fiat 500X Pop 4-door all-wheel drive, $27,990 or $408 a month. Dominate in the beast. 2023 Dodge Charger XST 4-door, we Gossett at $30,990 or $458 a month. And rule the road in dependable power 2023 Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab 4x2, $32,990 or $474 a month. And if we don't have it, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
75 months at 6.10 APR, 3,500 down, pop, BP 990492, MSRP 31,355, Charger PH 504,815, MSRP 35,630, Ram PS 55,4620, MSRP 40,460, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hey Mid-South, the Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event has never been hotter than right now at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. How about 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander? 7 seats, 27 mpg combined, leave Gossett at $449 a month. Or get ready to take your pick from 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander or 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range, 64 combined MPGe. Get ready to ride for just $499 a month at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Waste and excess mileage. Outlander P01215 MSRP 34555. Outlander SE P041164 MSRP 35585. PHEV P040302 24 months 12,000 miles per year. MSRP 48230. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, what I learned today is that the Los Angeles Angels, who kind of over the past couple of years have been known for drafting kind of older collegiate players that they can kind of fast track through the minors and get to major leagues. Well, today, Nolan Channel, who was just drafted a month ago in the 2023 draft in the first round, 11th overall pick, he has already been promoted to Triple-A, was hitting .500 between rookie ball and low single A. I think batting about .833 in low single A and about 8 or 9 at-bats. He's not going to play Double-A baseball, so very fast track for this guy.
I learned today the Bengals saw their season flash before them when Joe Burrow was carted off with the calf injury. Everyone feared maybe another knee injury or an Achilles or something like that. But Patrick Mahomes is the number 1 quarterback in the league. I think Burrow's 2. If he's not 2, he's 3. And like everybody, you lose that kind of starter. Kansas City would do the same. Chargers would do the same. You go nowhere without him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I could have done without is this injury to Joe Burrow. Who knows how long he's really out, but definitely anytime, especially a non-contact injury, it's definitely scary.
I like Joe Burrow, and he is a small G god at LSU. I mean, clearly the number 1 player all time. Could have done without. Colorado, they're a highbrow bunch, and they had that deal cut for a while, at least 6 months. There's no way this all just coalesced and came together after there was no packed media deal last week. And why did Rick George feel compelled to say it wasn't about the money when everybody knows differently? Who believes that outside of that ivory tower of academe?
Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to the Star for Cowboys practices. Big year for Dak. Is he a star or just another 4th-round quarterback like Kirk Cousins? Back-to-back 12 and 5 years, but no noise in the playoffs.
You're right about that. Jay Morgan?
Return of Miggy to South Beach. Simple enough for me.
I like that. I think I'll go see Lucas Giolito's first start for the Angels tonight against the Blue Jays. But it should be a great night, a great weekend of sports. You got a lot of baseball, trade deadline heating up.
The last weekend for Goldie and Arenado.
It really could be. So a lot to keep an eye on in baseball. But that's all the time we have for today and this week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.